All right. Well, I was going to do like a little addendum to my critique of Vosh, basically by saying, basically, I was going to add is that what I didn't add, which is kind of stupid, really, but I'll just say it nonetheless, is that people actually look at their resumes too. It's not just about mud diversity, and it's like you want to look at Susan Rice, who helped to support. What's going on, Rod Dog? Susan Rice, of course, is now in the Biden administration, who supported the bombings of Libya and supported the overthrow of Gaddafi. But of course, you don't hear that type of stuff from Vosh because, of course, oh, Gaddafi was bad and he tortured his people and everything. So, but yeah, that was basically my argument, is that people actually look at their resumes. People don't, they don't want to look at the actual facts. What's going on, Punjabify? What's going on, Libs No 1975? What is going on? I saw that people were bringing my name up a little bit. I don't mess with them. I don't, I'm not even going to say their names because I'm not going to, I'm trying to do less trolling. If I do troll, I do it on the low. But I thought that, this term kept coming up, this term decolonization. Biden will excuse Vosh will excuse everything Biden does. Just watch. Yep, that's true. Gaddafi is a hero of the people of Libya and Ireland. Yeah. Dark Synovia is getting triggered at Noswell. Yeah. You said the name, and even though I repeated it, I'm going to, I'm not going to throw a fit. But it's like, look, I loosely call myself a Nosbull. But, whatever the game is, I'm going to learn to play it, And the game does change. Relatively speaking, but in general, it always comes down to people wanting power and, different countries wanting power, this and that. We can see that, yeah, China is rising. I'll be honest with you. I saw a nice little clip of this guy, Li Yi, who I guess is a professor in Illinois, Gaddafi, Nation of Islam here. Yeah. But it's like decolonization. I kept hearing this term. Yeah. The guy that started in, little ball monitor. Yeah, there's a little ball monitor. Yeah, hall monitor. Yeah. Yeah, like I say, man, there's a lot of. Should I talk about it? I mean, let's get into it. I saw a little bit of this. Yeah, Malice Rebel News triggered at Noswells as well. Yeah, I saw that. He was like, MLs would rather talk to Noswells and shit on anarchists. It's like, come on, man. Come on, bruh. It's like, look, if you think that. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and show this story. I'm just going to read this off. I'll just fuck it. I'll share the screen. Y'all know I'm schizophrenic and everything. I don't even know what I am, but let me see here. Anarchist or BLM Antifa separation. Let me see here what we got here. So BLM activists condemn split off from Antifa in Portland. Rebel News. I don't know what Rebel News is. I don't think it's Jason Unruh, but we'll go ahead and read this anyway. BLM activists condemn split off from Antifa in Portland. Basically, the white folks, I'll just be honest with you. A lot of these rich white kids and a lot of the kids that live in the suburbs that just go back to their day jobs after they're done, throwing Molotov cocktails and just breaking windows and shit, they can go back home. Oh, it's Ian Miles Jung. Okay, sorry. We're not going to read that. We're not going to give Ian Miles Jung that much attention. Daily Wire, slightly, but, I'm just lazy. I'm just going to go ahead and click on that. So Portland's black BLM activists say they're done with white Antifa, want separation. Okay, Daily Wire, I know. Mush Shapiro, but still, we're going to go ahead and just read through this here. Tensions between black activists fighting for racial justice and anti-establishment protesters have bubbled beneath the surface for months, the outlet says. Noting that many of the anti-racism protests, now in their 6th month, began as peaceful protests. I'm not going to, but basically is that white folks, and I will say this, look, there's some dumb crackers out there. I can't, just because I'm a white dude, I'm not going to co-sign what these dumb crackers are doing out there because they want to, they're basically what they're doing is they're hiding behind wokeness so that they can destroy buildings and whatnot. And so they can get a cheap thrill. They want to slum it, basically. They want to slum it and then go back to their day jobs. That's what it is. Yep. Oh, what's going on? Right reaction. What's going on? Yeah, M3W movement guy, not Unruh, has a boner for anarchists for some reason. Yeah. Urkarn saying, oh, yeah, you didn't miss that much, man. You didn't miss that much. We just vibing. Yeah, decolonization would look like a return to the state of nature and reinstate the empire. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Hell, I don't know at this point. It's crazy. But I just wanted to read through this for a minute. Yeah. 6 months since the Floyd's protests. Okay, BLM activists also condemned that the largely white Antifa group is privileged, noting that many of those arrested, I keep on wanting to throw my own words, during the protests are middle or upper class. All are quickly free on bail and often escape prosecution. Once again, just as people, as right-wingers have said, the evil right-wingers have said, yeah, a lot of these Antifa, it's like these supposed Antifa folks who support black folks and everything, a lot of them are middle and upper class white folks who can go back to their jobs. Quickly free on bail, luxury is not afforded. I remember there's another article, I'm not going to bother to look for it though, is there are these two protesters that were like there early on, but they ended up getting canceled, these two black activists. And basically is what they said is that there's this meeting where they said, we've got to protect black folks. We're doing this, it's like, we don't need to mess with, the local guys and all this. Those are our friends. We need to leave those small businesses alone. And there was some white anarchist who went off into a corner. They were like under an overpass or something. And they went under the overpass. They're like, well, we're not doing this just for black folks. Basically, it's like, look, we're going to do our own thing and we're going to just, slum it. And we're going to, start throwing, breaking windows and shit. And then we're going to go home. That's the reality, though. It's just people who want a cheap thrill. They want to have their cake and eat it too, basically. Look, there are plenty of crackers like that out there. They're just like, well, I just want to break a window so that I can seem like I'm part of the establishment. But in 25 years, I'm going to be hopefully I'll be a Wall Street tycoon or something like that, or I'll work in a nice IT job so that, I can say that I was involved with it. Same thing with the hippies back in the 60s. A lot of them, by the time you got to the 80s, a lot of these folks were working on Wall Street or they were accountants or something like that. Nothing new. History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes, as I've heard. So we see here that, yeah, we're going to align with anarchists. Even BLM is breaking apart from the anarchists, though. Privilege gap becomes an even bigger problem, BLM activists say, when the anarchists push back against peaceful protesters who suggest less violent tactics. Another thing, too, back when the Yellow Vest movement was really hot and heavy in France, Antifa went against the Yellow Vest protesters. There's plenty of footage that shows this, that there are, black bloc Antifa folks who are going against the Yellow Vest protesters. But yet, you'll get people like Jason Unruh who are like, well, we need to align ourselves with the anarchists, but these specific anarchists that I pre-approve. I gotta laugh, man, because it's like, look, you can have your own plans and you can talk about decolonization and I don't even know what that means at this point, though. It's like, okay, what does that mean? Are you going to give it back to, Americanized native tribes? It's like, look, man, it's like, you can maybe say that some folks will LARP and be like, yeah, we're going to go back to nature, return to monkey or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what decolonization means. It's like, if it was just talking about, getting rid of the narrative of World War II, that America saved Europe from Hitler. Okay. Yeah. All right. I accept that pretty much. Yeah. Is it? Yeah. The Soviet Union did far more. Okay. I'll give you that. But it's going to be much more than that. And we don't know how far it's going to go and everything else. So that's my take. If you want to say you disagree or say that I'm just an evil Nazbol, go ahead. But Nazbol can mean whatever you want it to, in my opinion. As long as you believe in some form of nationalism with some sort of idea of, you know what, I'm not going to do that because I know people are going to click that. So I'm going to leave it where it is. I think y'all see where I was going. But it's like, that's just how motherfuckers are. Yeah. If you want workers to be decentralized while they are fighting the most centralized system in the world, that amounts to high treason. Anarchists, down with them. Yeah, exactly. People actually think Nazgul means 50% Hitler, 50% Stalin, Lamau. Exactly, yeah. I think it's you, Nazgul Jedi, that triggered the last few days on YouTube. Yeah, I'm going to probably get through this this video from Ewoks Unhinged. It's like, he seems okay, but that Dark Synovia dude, you know what? I'm not going to do. You know what? I'm going to let them beef it out. I haven't fucked with them. I haven't fucked with their chat. I'm not going to mess with them. That's all I got to say. I'm going to let them argue it out and let them do it. I'm going to stay out of their beef as much as I can. So if hopefully they see this stream, that's not going to be too long. Like I say, this will probably be maybe half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. But you can sit here and watch this and say, don't mess with them. Leave them alone. It's the same thing with, when Caleb Maupin saw my video and then he deleted the comment because somebody decided to make a comment, let him. I can respect why Caleb Maupin did that. He's got, he wants to try to keep the, he's got a hustle going on. That's my view. So it's like, let them do their own thing. For me, I'm doing my own thing. I'm going to say what I think is correct. If you don't like it, okay, you don't have to. It's fine. If I get some clout by, publishing Vosh clips, that's what I do. That's my whole thing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's read a little bit more of this. Interestingly, the calls for separation, though, have surfaced only recently as the protests are dying down. Once again, a lot of folks have canceled and everything else. Even people like, I can't remember his name. I can't remember that motherfucker's name. The one that used to be on crack.com and now he's with Bellingcat. I can't remember his name. I don't care. I honestly could not care. But anyway, basically is that the feds got all this information. It was just basically just shit talking between these various groups in Portland. That's why I can't get involved and call myself a leftist. It's like I would rather join the lumpen proletariat. I would rather join the hustlers. I'd rather join with organized gangs that, yeah, they may have their own beef, but it's like everybody understands, like, look, if we get out of line, he's going to come fuck us up. That's honestly how, I understand, gangs nowadays, as far as I've seen, is that they're much more like a business and they're organized cliques. So it's like Crips are against Crips, Bloods against Bloods. It's like they run this block and they make their money, but they're not all aligned under the same, So it's a complicated thing. I'm not going to claim to understand it because I'm far too honky. I'm far too white and far too privileged to understand it. But it's like, in my view, I would rather work with them on some sort of, franchise basis or whatever type of thing than work with any sort of leftist or right-wing group. Because they're all LARPers, in my opinion. They all are. I don't care. You have these LARPers, these Fed posting wignats who are just like, oh, yeah, we're going to try to kidnap the governor. And it's like, of course, they had Fed informants involved. And then you have these left-wing folks who can't get their shit together. And you have these white folks who just want to go and, break a window so that they can feel like they did something, and they don't actually want to participate. They want to be adventurers. But they don't talk about that. You don't hear these guys say that. That's what makes me upset. You can say all the typical shit you want to and say, I don't like white folks, this and that. I don't care. If you don't like white folks, I'll be like, all right, I can understand that. I'm just some dumb Yakubian. Go ahead. But it's like, what are you going to do outside of that? Or you can say, oh, yeah, well, there are so many fascists, this and that. But it's like, let them. At this point, just, I don't know, man. It's like, I'm too old for that, man. I'm just here. I'm just vibing. I just put this stuff out just because let them. You know what I'm saying? Just let them, man. I can't sit here and get involved with other people's beef. Let them beef it out. Fuck Joe Biden. BLM activists satisfied that President Donald Trump has likely been defeated, pushed back, claiming they'd reached their goal. At that point, BLM had been accused. Yeah. began accusing the anarchists of hijacking the movement and undermining the push for racial justice by continuing to commit violence. Yeah. Different goals. Everybody just started, just wanted to break shit and, tear statues down and shit. And now everybody's like, well, now we have our own goals. This is why when people talk about left unity, it doesn't mean a fucking thing. Because guess what? Everybody's got their own agenda, man. Everybody's got their own idea of what should be done. So you're going to have, Puerto Ricans who are going to speak for Puerto Ricans. You're going to have, black folks who are going to say, yeah, we need to free black folks and everything else. Or, I'm a Maoist, so, we want, protracted People's War. And, everybody's got their own agenda, man. And then even dig below that is other people have their own personal agendas. And some people want to be like, well, they really want to be the capitalists. They do. I don't know. Like I say, this is schizophrenic as fuck. I know y'all are probably like, what the fuck is this motherfucker on about? And I get it. I do. But honestly, it's just whatever. Yeah, but pure movement isn't a circle jerk. Yeah. He keeps talking about these homeless burger anarchists in LA. Yeah. There's a lot of that shit that goes around, man. It's like, but let them. Yeah. Okay, that's a dumbass article. I'm sorry I picked that, but yeah. Workers need to unite. Yeah. Need to all unite. Yeah, it'd be nice if we did. It'd be nice, but yeah. Anarchism is a stupid ideology. I think that, government, How are these guys going to organize and centralize the society? Who's going to enforce law and order? Exactly. They don't have those answers. Some people see themselves as the next Lenin. Yeah, they do. And I was thinking the same shit. He said his comrades like the channel in the stream, and I'm thinking this guy must be talking about one guy, and it seems like, yeah. Yeah, it's like I saw a bit of it, and he's so worried about banning post-Nazbol Judaism. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I don't know why you're so bothered by this dude. It's like, he's not even, it's like, now for me, I would troll him. I'd be like, black power and, melanated people. We need to free black people from Yakubians. And, I would just go in and troll. I'll just be honest with you. I'll mask off, but it's like, it's like when I saw post-Nazbol Juche, he's not saying anything too wild, at least in my opinion. Now, maybe that's my problem. Maybe that's my fault. But it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'll be dead honest. I don't get it. This sort of, nonsense. But whatever. And you know what? I'm not even going to watch this. Screw that. I don't care about whatever sort of beef is going on. Let them beef. I kind of figured this because I know, you know what? No. I'm not going to do that. I'm not even going to go there. It's going on. Let them beef. I'm not even going to touch their beef and all that. Let them do their own thing. It's none of my business. What's this? What we got
here? Not many people know a lot about him. Explain.
Not anymore, they don't.
No?
Apparently, no.
There's some people who say that he wasn't such a good guy.
It's kind of a bizarre way to put it. Good guy. I mean, they overthrew a dictatorship in Cuba that had oppressed the people for 50 years. And they're not getting the American system down there, which was basically almost a mafioso type of arrangement where the Americans owned the sugar refineries, they owned the oil refineries, and the Cuban people were kept under.
But some say that he and Castro were oppressive to political protesters, to political prisoners, and killed some of them.
Oh, without a doubt. You can't. I mean, you don't make omelets without breaking eggs. When the situation is so oppressive in a country as it was in Cuba.
At least he's honest.
Where that the ordinary people are suffering bitterly and have no possibility of raising themselves. Eventually, you get to a desperation situation. I mean, as you did in Vietnam, where if people are going to revolt, they begin to have to use violence against the power.
Do you think the people of Cuba are more upwardly mobile now than they were in the days of Batista?
People of Cuba are much better off today than they were then.
Okay.
Cuba has the best medicine in the Western Hemisphere.
Better than us?
Yes, better than America. They train more doctors by far than we do, and they train them free, and they send them to other countries to do good work. So, yeah, they're better off there. When I went to Cuba originally, in 1959, people were about 80% illiterate.
Mm-hmm.
All of that changed.
What's the number now?
I can't give you a number, but there's great literacy there. I mean, it's now a vast majority are able to read and write.
So this guy's like, oh, okay, 30K. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, he's just one of those typical type of dudes. Let him. I couldn't see. Yeah, Jay was kind of adventurous more, but he was all right. Yeah. Fembo ethno state. Yeah, he did. He just won the Fembo. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, yeah. Like I said, he is who he is. You know, I'm not going to sit here and criticize my man for that. That's kind of cringe, you know. Okay. Sorry about that. Let me look here. You know, I'm not going to sit here and... There we go. Sorry about that. Sorry for the double audio there. Okay. Oh, Lord have mercy. What we got here? What's this clip? What's this cliparoo here? What we got? What we got here, Charlie?
This is Guerrillero Heroico, one of the most iconic photographs of the 20th century. Taken by Alberto Corda in 1960, it quickly spread across social movements across the globe. Looking at the image, it's not hard to see why it captured the hearts of so many people. Population in the Korean War.
He did some good stuff. You know, I'll put it that way. You know, I'm not going to go on about Che Guevara. You know what? I actually got a book. I actually got one of his books. Don't worry, I'm not gonna make y'all watch that. Okay, yeah. Who is Laufenberg? Yeah, nigga like violence, but I can't blame him for that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, he was a horny dude too. You know, he was a horny dude, but it's all right. I mean, I can't fault him. I can't knock him. Oh man. Okay. You know what? I found my book, or at least a book that I bought about let me see here. Yeah, Essence of Guerrilla Warfare. So I'll read a little bit of this just to give, you know, just to make folks upset, you know. Like I said, I don't know if y'all, you know, if it's going to get back to them. I'm not going to even say their names. It's none of my business, ultimately. Okay, here we go. Whew, sorry. War is always a struggle in which each contender tries to annihilate the other. Besides using force, they have to recourse to all possible tricks and stratagems. Oh, excuse me. In order to achieve the goal. Military strategy and tactics are a representation by analysis of the objectives of the group and of the means of achieving these objectives. These means contemplate taking advantage of all the weak points of the enemy. The fighting action of each individual platoon in a large army in a war of positions will present the same characteristics as those of the guerrilla band. It uses secretiveness, treachery, and surprise. And when each are not present, it is because vigilance on the other side prevents surprise. But since the guerrilla band is a division unto itself, and since there are large zones of territory not controlled by the enemy, it is always possible to carry out guerrilla attacks in such a way as to ensure surprise, and it is a duty of the guerrilla fighter to do so. Hit and run, some call this scornfully, and this is accurate. Hit and run. Wait, lie in ambush, hit and run, and thus repeatedly without giving any rest to the enemy. There is in all this, it would appear, a negative quality, an attitude of retreat, of avoiding frontal fights. However, this is consequent upon the general strategy of guerrilla warfare, which is the same in its ultimate end as any warfare: to win, to annihilate the enemy. Yep. Thus, it is clear that guerrilla warfare is a phase that does not afford it in itself opportunities to arrive at complete victory. It is one of the initial phases of warfare and will develop continuously until the guerrilla army in its steady growth acquires the characteristics of a regular army. At that moment, this is, you know, dare I say this, I'm going to say this, and I know that people will say the American Revolution was a counter-revolutionary act. And I'm coming around to that idea. I am. but I'm still an American at the end of the day. That's what I'm a product of the American system, excuse me. But this is what the United States Army Rangers used to be. They did hit and run tactics on the British Army and the Hessians and all that business. So this is nothing new. But I'm just saying is that, like I say, you can judge that. I'm not going to sit here and try to make it, I'm not going to try to make it seem like, actually, let me see if I can look that up right quick. Let me see here. The Army Rangers. Let me see here. Army Rangers. I got to click on the history. I think it's Rogers Rangers, I think is the history of it. Let me see here. Colonial period. Here we go. Captain Samuel Smith. Okay. Colonel Benjamin Church. There was a guy, I think John Lowell. Loyalist Rangers. Okay. Major Robert Rogers allegedly offered his services to General George Washington, fearing that Rogers was a spy. Washington refused. Okay. Okay, hold on. Dang gummit, it's going to make me upset now. Okay, I'm going to try and see here what Rogers, okay. Rogers Rangers standing orders. Here we go. Okay. I just want to point this out just from an American context. And you can say this is fei hua, and you can say it's bullshit. And that's fair. That's fair. Oh, screw you. Get fucked. Oh, kiss my ass. God damn it. Fuck you. All right. I just wanted to read. Okay. Rules of ranging. Rogers Rangers. Okay. God damn it. Rogers standing orders. Okay. Can I click on that then? Are you going to show me the fucking... Oh, no. I got to... Okay. Plan of discipline. 1769. Okay. Okay. God damn. I just wanted to look at the rule. Okay. Okay. Here we go. So these are the... Okay. Northwest Passages. This is Rogers standing orders. Don't forget nothing. Have your musket clean as a whistle. Hatchet scoured. 60 rounds powder and ball. And be ready to march at a minute's warning. When you're on the march, act the way you would if you was sneaking up on a deer. See the enemy first. Tell the truth about what you can see and what you do. There's an army depending on us for correct information. You can lie all you please when you tell other folks about the Rangers, but don't never lie to a Ranger or officer. Yes, I remember this from back when, but now I'm trying to, don't ever take a chance you don't have to. When we're on the march, we march single file, far enough apart so one shot can't go through two men. If we strike swamps or soft ground, we spread out abreast, so it's hard to track us. When we march, we keep moving till dark, so as to give the enemy the least possible chance at us. When we camp, half the party stays awake while the other half sleeps. If we take prisoners, we keep them separate till we have had time to examine them, so they can't cook up a story between them. Don't ever march home the same way. Take a different route so you won't be ambushed. No matter whether we travel in big parties or little ones, each party has to keep a scout 20 yards ahead. 20 yards on each flank and 20 yards in the rear, so the main body can't be surprised and wiped out. Every night you'll be told where to meet if surrounded by a superior force. Don't sit down to eat without posting sentries. Don't sleep beyond dawn. Dawn's when the French and Indians attack. Don't cross a river by a regular ford. If somebody's trailing you, make a circle, come back onto your own tracks, and ambush the folks that aim to ambush you. Don't stand up when the enemy's coming against you. Kneel down, lie down, hide behind a tree. Let the enemy come till he's almost close enough to touch. Then let him have it, and jump down and finish him up with your hatchet. Yee-hoo! So there you go. American Revolution is consequences. Yeah. I would say the American Revolution was a step forward to historical materialism, at least still a tragedy. Yeah. Like I say, I try to be careful about that because I don't know that much necessarily, as much of an ignorant American as I am, I'll admit. I don't know that much about the American Revolution other than, just kind of the highlights. It's like Benedict Arnold sold us out and he joined the British Army and, all this other type of stuff. But it's like, You know what I mean? That's my attitude, and everybody's got their own spicy take on it, and say that it was really just for rich entrepreneurs to make money so that they didn't have to be controlled. It's got their own spicy take. But yeah, that's how I feel. You can go ahead and disagree and say, but it's okay. Whatever, as they say. So let me see. What we got here? What's this clip? What we got here?
And all of us who knew Martin are proud of his achievements,
Sinn Féin,
of
huh?
his humanity, of his compassion. He was a formidable person. He did extraordinary things in extraordinary times. He would not be surprised at some of the commentary from some quarters recently about him and his life. He would be the first to say that these people are entitled to their opinions, particularly those who suffered at the hands of the IRA. But let me take issue with those in the editorial rooms or in the political ivory towers who denounce Martin McGuinness as a terrorist. Mar dúirt an Pearshock at the grave of another Fenian, the fools, the fools, the fools. Martin cannot answer them back, so let me answer for him. Martin McGuinness was not a terrorist. Martin McGuinness was a freedom fighter.
Well, there you go. That was a good clip. There you go. I don't know who Martin McGuinness is, but I'm sure he was a good guy. Yep. Maoism was a mistake. Yeah. It's sad because, okay, correct me where I'm wrong, chat. Maoism, as far as I know, does not come directly from Mao, because as I've heard, is that Mao Zedong thought is separate from Maoism. Maoism, as far as I know, was stuff that Mao wrote about and was, brought up by Chile, right? I mean, not Chile. I'm sorry, Peru, the Communist Party of Peru, the Gonzaloists, I think. But it's like, yeah. I mean, let me see. But yeah, basically, that's as far as I know is what Maoism is, and it's like then, you know what? I'm not even gonna go there. My fellow Doomers. Oh yeah, this is the one he just uploaded. I didn't feel like watching it, but okay. Christian Doomer. Okay, hold on. Occasionally replays old video games from the 2000s to kill time. Against alcohol and drugs, but has been buying too much beer lately. Oh, Lord have mercy. Debates himself over if he is a reprobate or not due to his temptations of the flesh. Highly likely a Calvinist or Roman Catholic. 80s music, but sometimes cloud rap. Lost youth. Doesn't fit in at the campus Christian group. Patchy med beard. Despises reprobates. Yeah, reprobates. Sorry. I don't know why I keep throwing in that T in there. Prays at strange hours all day. Tried seeking knowledge. Tried fashion. Tried lifting. Uses metaphysics as a metric to gauge politics. Ooh. It's kind of cringe, I think. But yeah, leaves church immediately. Only guy under 70 there anyway. In a university and jaded from it. Yeah, I'm kind of jaded, yeah. Used to be very political. Still holds right-wing views. Shit posts, memes. Yeah. Can't really argue with that. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to laugh. Oh my goodness. Go ahead.
You know, if you're a doomer, there's two things that you can do to help get your life back on track. Getting rid of these is one of them, and the other getting right with God.
Yeah.
You know, the doomer phase that has swept over the nation of America and Europe and the world is a legitimate thing. You know, a lot of people ignore it or think, oh, it's just the memes. But in reality,
Mm-hmm.
the doomer really has infected us all.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
All right.
those of you that care anyway.
Yeah.
Because
All
I
right.
understand that's what a doomer is. It's somebody who cares just a little too much.
I'm trying to listen to him. I'm not gonna just make fun of him. It's easy to make fun of him, but I'm gonna try to listen to him because I feel sorry for him. I don't have hatred for him. This and that. I just want to make sure here. I just lay a little bit lower on the LARP, can you? Just a little bit. But I know it's like Ronaldus Reaganus. I was like, oh my, did you? Why? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying.
They always just they see the reality of the situation, and the reality of our situation is the world is screwed, and we're all screwed too. You know, those that ignore it are the blind idiots. Am I right? We agree.
Mhm.
I think us fellow doomers, we all agree. If you choose to ignore the problem, you're an idiot. But
Yeah.
where we failed is we shouldn't have let the problem consume us so much that we miss out on life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the cliche is the joy is in the journey.
Yeah.
But we've lost all joy. The hallmark of us doers is our loneliness. In many ways, it really defines us. You know, that's something I will admit. I do struggle with loneliness. There's days where it's so bad that it feels like a weight that's just crushed down on me.
Yeah.
But do you know how I keep going forward? It's the same way that you can keep going forward. It's because I know I'm not really alone. Sure, I don't have a girlfriend, but
Don't do no. I was with you. Don't go there. Please don't do the incel stuff. Please don't. I was with you. I was there. I was with you on that journey. And okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I have Jesus Christ.
Don't say the GF. Don't fall for the Don't fall for the TFW no GF meme. Don't fall for that. It's just like, oh, don't do. Don't say I don't have a girlfriend. I have Jesus. I tried. I did try. Oh, go ahead.
The God
okay.
Emperor, the only true God. You know what? He's there for you too. You just have to realize it. You just have to accept him into your heart, and then the Holy Spirit will come and dwell within you, and you'll never be alone again. I'll show you some Bible verses that help back that up. Jesus tells us that he'll always be with us in Matthew chapter 28, verse 20, teaching them to observe all things that I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Amen. That's Jesus speaking. He's wanting you to know that he is with you always till the end of the age. And I think us doomers can agree the end of the age is coming on upon us. So we need to cling tightly to Jesus before it's too late. A big part of our depression is because we worry. We worry about tomorrow. We worry about the culture. We worry about the society. We worry about the nation. And you know, it's healthy to worry, but not in excessive amounts. You know, Jesus tells you not to worry about tomorrow. Focus on today. And that's something that we as a society really have forgotten, is we need to trust that it's in God's hands. Therefore, I don't need to worry. You know, I know a lot of you doomers are big fans of Stoicism. I'm the same way. I view myself as a modern Stoicist. And Stoicism teaches not to concern myself with things that I have no control over.
Yeah.
Only concern myself with things that I do have control over, i.e., my mental state. I've got to try to maintain a calm sense, not let the worry and depression override us and flood us into the depths of despair. I'll show you a Bible verse where God tells you not to worry.
Okay.
Matthew chapter 6, verses 31 and 32 and 33. Therefore do not worry, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For after all these things the Gentiles seek. For your heavenly Father knows that you need all these things.
Yep, that's
but
true.
Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. Verse 34. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about its own things. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble.
Yeah.
Jesus is very clear on this. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about its own things. Only deal with today, one day at a time.
Yeah.
That's how we make it through life.
Hmm.
And I want to point out something that verse said. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. You know, doomers have a lot of bad habits. And that's because they seek to escape their terrible situation by distractions.
Yeah.
The distractions of beer, smoking, and porn. These three things.
I'll be honest with you. I don't like to drink alcohol. I don't really care for it. I tried to smoke. I didn't really care for it. The third one, no comment. There you go. Just in the sense of honesty. Go ahead.
Doomers usually look at to numb the pain, when in reality, they know they're just making their situation worse. Porn is evil, and all evilness aside, just from this aspect, it's a fantasy. That situation doesn't really exist.
Yeah, it's true.
And you will never be in that situation. So why kid
Yeah.
yourself with something that'll never happen?
It's true.
Why hurt yourself even worse? Instead of seeking these evil distractions to numb the pain, seek ye first the kingdom of God. Because Christ will heal you. He won't dull the pain. He'll take it away.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't that what we want? We want our pain to go away. The only way that's going to happen is Jesus. Bringing Jesus into your life and building a true relationship with him. Honestly, I'll admit to you 100%, that's the only reason I'm still standing here. If it wasn't for my faith and relationship in Christ, I don't know where I'd be or what kind of monster I'd be. That's just a fact. Jesus saved my life. And even though I have those days where the depression and the loneliness just crush me, I know it's going to be okay because Jesus is there. Jesus will always stop and pick you up. You know, he leaves the 99 sheep to come back and get the one. You're the one, Doomer. You don't have to let it hurt. Give the hurt
Well,
to man, the God that can take it away. It's something that you really should think about if you're a Doomer. Understand that I know what you're going through. And I've been through a lot of the same struggles. But I'm here on the other end with Jesus. He's extending your hand to you, and I am as well. I run this imperial movement as a way to bring
once again, he mentioned the girlfriend thing, and now he has to mention the imperial. Oh, bruh. I was there with you, and then you, don't ruin it.
Together, of all true denominations, we're all going to come together, and we're going to form the last wall against the evil.
Go ahead.
We're there for each other. This is a family, after all. And the family takes after its own. So don't give in to despair, Doomer. It's not too late. Jesus is always with us. We can have a better day. We can have a better tomorrow. You can look into the sun again. It all starts with Jesus Christ.
Okay, that's a bit too much. All right, so let me do that. Let's go back here. Okay, let's see here. How can he not ruin it? The guy's an imperialist. Yeah, that's true. Let me see. There we go. Let's see what we got here. What's this one? Who is this? Oh, we don't do simple history. Yeah, like I say, I should probably make a list. We don't do the simple history anymore. That's just kind of goofy. Okay, but yeah, I can see the reason why he did that. But yeah, meh. But yeah, Lucky Luciano basically did help the United States government, and then he escaped and he continued to sell heroin, this and that. You know, that's basically all you need to know. Is that Lucky Luciano collaborated with the U.S. government so that he could get out of jail. He went to Sicily and continued on with the mafia. That's basically all you need to know. But yeah, That's my view. Yeah. Stores under social. Yeah. The modern series. Would you like links? Sure. Why not? People's Rooster. Go ahead. Yep. Whenever you're ready. I'm just gonna take a minute. Let's see here. But yeah, that's pretty interesting though. Some interesting stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and download that. I probably won't read it ever again, but just for the heck of it. Ooh. But yeah, I'll go ahead and click off the Twitter for now. Yeah. Hard to grow rice in Sweden though. Yeah. Imagine it would be. I'd like for you to react to Unruh. Yeah, are we talking about the new video that Unruh did? Or are we talking about the new one that he did, Punjabify? I know that there's a delay, so I'll wait. Let me see here. He advocates for wars that are unprofitable in his form. Yeah. Ironically harms his country's imperial potential. Yeah, exactly. He really does. Like I say, Modern Roma Part 3. Holy moly. Okay. We'll just leave this. Salvos Mena. We'll leave this guy be. He's all right, though. At least in my opinion. He's not too hard on the LARP. He used to be more of a MGTOW, but I think he kind of gave that up. So good for him. Good for him. I think I muted it. It should be muted on here. And it looks like it is. That's good. Okay. So let's look at this. And Modern Roma Part 3. Okay, these are the last two videos that we're going to do, and then we're going to call it good. Okay. What we got here? Oh, this is Modern Roma Part 3. Oh, this is okay. So this is okay, and this is the same thing. SpongeBob SquarePants. Okay, let's go ahead and see what the.
What? Why, Pearlie's saving the Krusty Krab. I mean, the Cuddly Crab. What would we do without these beautiful $20 sea unicorn wall hangers? How could we have ever survived without these $35 heart lights? How could we go on without a sea fern on every last table? It's hip, it's coral, it's losing money! Oh, you're right, SpongeBob.
Oh, the capitalist who deals with, the shit-lib parents. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Let's look at this Modern Roma Part 3. All right, let's take a look at that.
All right, boys. To the gates of hell. Let's make our way to heaven. Primo Victoria.
Primo Victoria. Oh, my goodness. Ready, Chappie? Oh, more clips. Okay, we're gonna skip the LARP here. What? Hold on. I don't like the communists, but I'm gonna use clips of them. What? Hold on. Okay, hold on. So now we got some Soviet footage there. It looked like a BMP 1 or 2. I want to say BMP 1 or 2. Go ahead. So it likes the. Okay, we got the ZSU. What is that? The ZSU what? Hold on, let me make sure here. ZSU 23-4. I think that's it. Yeah, ZSU 23-4. The Shilka. I guess base Soviets. I guess, huh? The base Soviets are going to come help, the Romans to defeat the Zealots in Israel, apparently. Oh. There we go. Got some T-72s there, I think. T-54, I think. Wow. He got the Soviets to come help, though. That's pretty based. That's pretty based that he got the Soviets, yeah. It's a Soviet theme from COD. Oh, boy. That's hilarious. I'm too much of a boomer.
taken Stalingrad. The Russian military machine has...
It's not called Stalingrad. Come on, man. Get your shit together. It's not called Stalingrad. It's called Volgograd. Bliat. Suka. God damn.
been pushed back. I have been sent behind enemy lines to attempt to assassinate their leader, Vladimir Putin.
God, I'm sorry. I tried. I'm sorry.
I hope this mission goes well. We got a tip that he's in this local warehouse. So I've paid off a Russian to drive me to the warehouse. And then
Damn, Russians got a nice Ford,
after
huh?
the deed is done. We will see what happens.
Nice little farm they got there. I'm sorry. Oh. It is cringe. Oh, boy. Yeah, this guy should talk to some actual military personnel and not neocon LARPers. He really... He's too far gone. I'm sorry. I've tried to be nice to him. I really do feel sorry for the dude, but it's like I can't. Hold on. Be nice to him. I really do feel. Modern Roma Part 4. Holy shit. Modern Roma Finale. Holy shit. And what's this one? Okay. Oh my goodness.
All right, got to be quick. I don't know how long the target will be here. Dadgummit. I had to keep my helmet strapped to my waist. Gotta waste time putting it on.
What? What is the point? Why do we care?
I'll give them credit, though. This old house doesn't look like a place where the Russian dictator would hang out.
That's the
Here
point.
we go.
Very clever. I'm going to film this from the... You know, they say, you better not kick my goddamn door. You know they said that. You better not kick my goddamn door. I'll put the switch on your butt.
This is the room where all the weapons are? Looks like a dirty basement.
That's all we can do.
Grenades, ammo clips.
Magazines. God damn. Even I know that. Come on.
Just what I thought.
I'm sorry. A Mauser broom handle?
Right,
Okay.
where are they?
I'm sorry.
Almost got me. Good gosh, they almost got me.
Good gosh. Oh my goodness.
They
What
went
is
through
he-
that door. Oh, they're probably waiting on the other side. All right, here we go. No, they're gone. Where the heck did they go?
I'm sorry. I'm trying, but oh my god. Oh, Yeltsin was worse. He was always drunk. That's true. Yeah, Communist Hat Guy is my favorite character. I find out why he walks so weird. He's imitating the Putin gangster walk. Oh, really? Doodle-doo-doo-doo. Doodle-doo-doo-doo. Doodle-doo. Oh, my goodness. What is he doing? What is he doing? What is he doing? Okay. What's this? Is this the... Okay. Debating. Okay. Well, we'll take a look. Okay. Sorry. We'll take a look at this. Okay. Here we go. Let's go ahead and go back to Modern Roma 3. Okay.
They went around the back.
You couldn't even edit out the BB gun noise? Come on! It's a BB gun. Even I know that.
I've got to get a good shot. I just can't get one located. Wait a minute. That's the truck of the guy that brought me here. He's double-crossed me.
Well, shoot!
No, they're getting away. I've got to get a beat on the truck. Let's see if I can hit the driver. Nope. Come on.
Oh,
There we go. And...
yeah, you missed.
Crap.
Yeah.
I hit the guy in the back. I saw his brains fly out. Freaking command's not gonna like this. Oh, great. I'll radio them my coordinates so we can airstrike this building to the ground. That's something at least. As I made my way through the Russian countryside, a civilian called out to me. When I noticed her, I approached with caution, but she told me that she loved Roma and she was so excited that we were saving her from communism, her and her people. She fed me and then sent me on my way. I soon made it back to command.
Wait a minute. So what happened to the zealots in Israel? Okay, so they got BTFO'd, and then okay, so now you're gonna go into Russia? Okay, I'm trying to figure this out. I'm sorry, but
What I didn't know was what the Russian leader was going to do in retaliation to our assassination attempt.
Yeah, I just had an assassination attempt. Send the airstrike with Rome.
more LARP. Oh boy.
What's that command? The whole ninth? How many civilians? 3,000 Romans and 2,000 civilians, Russian civilians,
What? Huh?
gone.
What?
It was a massive napalm attack and the biggest missile that we've ever seen. A whole Roman legion gone, and 2,000 of their own people. What kind of sick man could do this?
No, there really aren't any trads in America. Yeah. What in the? Okay, sorry. Oh, Reaganus has returned.
I have to interrupt right here and tell you that in one of my visits, I won't name him, I don't want to embarrass him, but one of the heads of state that I met with on this visit, he gave me one while I was on the way. Told me the story about the two fellows in the Soviet Union were walking down the street, and one of them says, "Have we really achieved full communism? Is this it? Is this now full communism?" And the other one said, "Oh, hell no, things are going to get a lot worse."
Oh, Reaganus, you're hilarious. Reaganus. Oh, man. Reaganite neocon Lucy. He really. Reaganus. Oh.
Over 6,000 Romans dead. Over 65,000 Russian civilians and soldiers dead.
What? You said 4,000 before. What the hell these other ones come up? Don't make me do a meme. Don't make me. Go ahead.
And not just by our hands, by their own people.
What does he do?
So many of my fellow Rangers have been dropped behind enemy lines and have been executed. I haven't been able to recover all the bodies.
What is this? What is he got? It's just him. Oh. I only had one cape. What the? No, not the LARP flags. No, not the LARP flags.
But our Christian operations are...
Oh my! What? What? Oh, he's got the over 6 million Romans dead. Exactly. He's a ranger, sniper, and assaulter, a diplomat, and a preacher. Exactly. I just. Oh. They can pull out their magic hat as Reagan. Yeah. Ronald Reagan, one of the most cringiest people who made USA a total cringe fest. Yeah. Oh, golly.
Going according as planned. The Christian brigades have Christianized most of the Russian populace.
Oh, the LARP flags. I'm going to ban LARP flags. I'm sorry. If I was like a dictator or something like that, I would ban men wearing capes. Number one, you can no longer wear capes, not even as a LARP. If I find out you made a cringe video on YouTube, I'm going to say, give me that damn cape. You don't get to do it, and you're going to wear a diaper. I'm going to make you wear a diaper for a whole day. I don't. Why did I say that? I don't know, but I'm going to make you wear that. Secondly, you don't get any LARP flags. You have to, to humiliate you even more, you're going to have to put on a rainbow shirt to show that you support. Oh, I'm sorry. That was pretty cruel. Yeah, ban video games unironically. Yeah, I'm at that point too. Ban video games at this point. Just why not? Russia was already Christian. Exactly. But it wasn't his type of Christianity, though. That's the whole thing. It wasn't his version of Christianity.
I was ordered to help one of them.
What was that? Was that a Hitler sort of Sieg Heil there where he's doing? Hold on. Let me go back for a minute.
Thing is planned. The Christian brigades have Christianized most of the Russian populace.
They were already Christianized, idiot.
I was ordered to help one of them.
Yeah, it was.
Only one girl from her area was able to attend.
What
the others were too scared to come.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm trying. Oh, God, that's awful. Oh, my goodness.
Doing this was good for me. It reminded me why we were here, why we were fighting.
Oof.
We're fighting to save a people oppressed by communism. We had to give them the truth.
Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, yeah. And more footage. Vietnam War footage. I'm going to go ahead and click off that. Bruh, what is he doing?
Let my chief of staff know I'm going to the border for the day.
I couldn't help but think and wonder what the Russian dictator was thinking. He was losing everything, his power, his armies, his hold on the people.
Yeah.
What does that do to a man?
Yeah, he really doesn't speak for Christians. Yeah. The thing is, I could blame this goober for all the things, but it's like I blame that pastor for letting him in, wearing that cape and having and going like Ave, whatever it is. I blame him. I blame this fool who lets him feed his fantasies. Like, yeah, let's make a LARP movie about this, because it's like Americans are cringe, and I know I'm an American myself, but god damn, we are cringe. We are cringe people. Oh. Oops, sorry. Glug, 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 glug. Just vibing, huh?
All your life, you're used to living a certain way. And then when it's about to crumble, does your mind follow suit?
Maybe. No, don't do it. B-1 bomber.
Bombs the ever-living crap
Oh no, B-52.
out
Sorry.
of the Russians. We
Why?
have the air superiority, so Caesar told us to use it.
Caesar.
No longer would waste Roman lives and taking prisoners, clearing out trenches the old
Bruh, this jackass is gonna sit here and bomb the Russians. Russians are already Christian. Jag off, you. Retardeds, yeah, exactly. Reactionaries versus rad libs, exactly. Yeah, apparently so. It's supposed to be Putin, yeah. Bruh. And more footage. Okay. Oh, here we go.
I was deployed near their capital city, deep in the countryside. It was a reconnaissance mission. Can't say I was thrilled. It's a beautiful countryside. This is
Putin about to commit suicide. Yeah, exactly.
and it will be even more beautiful when we've wiped communist scum from the area.
Communist scum.
I had to dodge a few patrols, but other than that, the countryside was peaceful and quiet. I was able to catch some much-needed sleep. But I had a strong feeling that I needed to move along.
The sad thing too is that this is America though, is that they didn't have to dress it up. There's all these abandoned homes and everything else like that. It's like, there's a lot of these homes that were built in like the 40s or the 50s or even the 60s, and they're just abandoned. They're just slowly rotting away. I'm sure it exists like that across the world, but yeah, nothing like the United States, at least in my opinion. But yeah, so it's one of those things. Probably one of his family members has a vehicle that they think they're going to fix up. Probably never will. Just end up being sold off for scrap. Sad part of it, isn't it? That's the sad stuff, man. Filming inside of his pastor's church. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay, I'll move my coordinates. Yes, sir.
You'll move two
Thank you, sir.
coordinates.
Ave.
Bonk. Whoops. All that cinder block, huh?
Could have sworn I saw something up in those trees. Better be careful. Probably another sniper.
There goes your hand. Bang! There goes your hand. Oh. Kept together with Lou. Yeah, exactly. I have no idea, Gurkarin. Hey, I don't know. Gurkarin. Yeah. What is this guy doing? What a waste of a good 22, huh? Or is that a BB gun? I can't even tell. Look at that. Yeah, let me see what we got here. Let me see here. Let's see what this link is. Let me see what else. What other link we got here? Let me see. What was the link you sent me, Gurkarin? Let me see here. Exactly. Yeah, let me see. Huh. I think I got those already. Okay. I just posted. Oh, okay. Let me see here. Let me see here. You just posted it, huh? Ah, I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry. Okay, we got to look at that one. Kathy Jew. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, we're gonna finish up. Okay, the LARP. Okay. Does he kill this fool? 27 minutes? Nah. All right. We all don't have that type of attention span, do we? Okay. Okay, we already watched that. Okay, Modern Roma. Okay. We're gonna... Okay, whatever, LARPer. All right. What's this? This is... Oh, bruh. Really? Oh, really? Okay, I'm gonna have to take a look at that. Okay. Okay. All right, let's see here. Okay, what we got here? Europa. Why is she still around? How is she still around? 1.5 speed. Let's look at. Okay. Definitely a 22. Yeah, this guy's on the edge of killing us from liberal cringe. Yeah, exactly. Declared war on us. Yeah, I saw a bit of that. That's fine. Yeah, I saw a bit of that. I'm not really concerned with it right this moment. Europa. Kathy Jew. How is this broad still around, man? Matrad Asian waifu, right? Matrad Asian waifu here. The trad Asian waifu. I love it. I have no idea. Yeah. Okay. Kathy Jew. Hopefully I'm saying that. Yeah. Respond to the response. Okay. Something to look at least. Yeah. He already posted it. It's not good. I'll go ahead and take a look. Yeah. It's Kathy Jew. She used to be. She was a conservative who was dating this white dude. Basically, she got kicked off Twitter. But yeah, she was like the wannabe trad e-girl thought. You know, basically, yeah, traitor to America. Yeah, bruh. Let's take a look. Oh, no simps yet. This broad. She wildin', bro. Women are not allowed to wear. I can't even think of it now. They are not allowed to wear shirts like that. They can no longer. Yeah. Kathy. Yeah. You know what? I'll spell it in the chat. Why not? I'm gonna go ahead and do that. There we go. Kathy Jew, I think. But yeah. Cringe. Yeah, it's a lot of cringe, isn't it? Oh, he deleted it. Okay. Okay. Do y'all want to see some of this LARP? Yeah, his Jesus video was interesting. Yeah. Yeah. If YouTube's leading you, you're doing something right, lol. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see what we got here. Should we watch this from this Dark Synovia guy, or should we not give it any attention? Google Farrakhan playing violin. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Gurkaran. All right, let me take a look. Sorry. Put on Farrakhan playing instead. Okay, we'll go ahead and do that. Yeah. There we go. Okay. I want you just enjoy that for a moment. Just enjoy that for a moment while I find something else here. Sorry. Oh, okay. I got you. All right. And that one. Okay. Yep, that's him. There you go. Now, what's this? Oh, okay. Yeah, this is okay. This is new.
Okay.
Oh, okay. What's this? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. He's very good. I gotta give it to the brother. That's so ironic. Mendelssohn. You know what? I'll let y'all fill in the meme, but yeah. That's very good, though. We're gonna, yeah. It's very good, though. It is very good. Okay. So, should we respond to this or no? Press 1 if you want me to respond to it, or press 2 if not. Or if we would just want to, okay, yeah. I'll just wait. I'll wait for the response there. I know there's a delay, so I'll wait for a minute. 2 more Farrakhan. Okay. All right. Let's respond to some of this, and then we'll turn it over to Farrakhan. How about that? We'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, we'll listen to some of this, and then we'll turn it back to Farrakhan. Okay.
Hello, everyone. This is Darth Synovia on Ewoks Unhinged. How you guys doing today? Be sure to watch B-Level stream today. It will be equally as valid as this one. Now, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Not too long ago, my mother passed away.
I'm sorry to
I
hear that.
normally would not be doing something like this,
Okay.
but what's happening right now is just too important for me to delay it.
Okay.
And I value the cadres. I value my, audience over guest. I really do.
Play the. You want me to do both?
And
Can't hear his fatness through the microphone.
yeah. And another thing, Maoist Third Worldist movement will always be welcomed here. And he is 20 years older than Jason, who is the current editor of 2 underrated Third Worldist blogs.
Bro, what? You want me to see if I can do both? Okay. You want me to play? Yeah. We'll go ahead and play him while we're response to Sean, huh? Unlearning economics. Okay. I'll play that for him. Don't worry. I'm not going to make y'all watch that. Don't worry. Okay. More Farrakhan violin while I do it. Okay. I heard the response. I will do that. Okay, so I'll just turn the volume down on this a little bit while I listen to this.
I will always welcome him here. And
that works.
Another announcement I'm going to say.
You think that works? I think that works. Star Wars stuff, though. Yeah.
I'm a third worldist because I feel like being in an ML, in North America.
How can you be a third worldist? I'm sorry. Let me mute this just for let me pause it for a moment. What is the deal with third worldism? I mean, it's like I feel sorry for him, for his mother, but this video is just strawman the Nospels because he didn't even read Karl Hottem. Yeah. Let's go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
America just isn't good enough. If you're going to be an ML, I would say take the examples of Danky Kang, Red Scare, and Fellow Traveler.
So they're all just okay. So now they're mad because they're talking to people like me. I mean, I'm not trying to be selfish here and say it like that, but is that why he's mad? Because, I mean, go ahead.
Jason Unruh did a great video yesterday on this very subject, and I suggest you watch that after you watch this because I think he, he makes a great point in like under 10 minutes about, the problematic, nature of, MLs online and how they tolerate Nosbols and incels.
Nosbols and incels. Just why do you care? It's like, go ahead.
Nothing is happening, so just stay tuned for B-Level's video. It's just as important as this one. I just haven't had a chance to give my thoughts about the Nosbol thing. So I know people, it may seem like a joke, but it's not. The cadres, I've talked to them. They take this very seriously. And the thing we got to take into consideration regarding, Nosbols, they may be a joke and it's hard to take them seriously, but it's a mistake not to at least, see why they're such a threat.
Okay.
They may not pose a physical threat, but if you're a cadre and you are fighting against this fascist state, you will take Nosbols very seriously. What I'm doing right now, I'm safe. I'm in my house.
Yeah.
Doing this very, stream.
Okay.
But what the cadres are doing is far more work than what I'm doing. These people are putting their lives on the line. These people can...
Huh? Okay, yeah, side Nazgul's just yeah. They have no organized party. There's no threat there. Exactly. I wonder if he will address the fact that Anaconda. I saw that in that B levels video. Apparently he deleted it, but apparently that one guy mentioned it. I don't know. Like I say, I'm not even going to take any. I'm not even going to be selfish like that. But let's hear more of it. Yeah, he even said that I don't see them as a threat, but because they are a joke and dead moving. But none of modern Nazgul know what it really is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Pytail, Ernst Junger, Laufenberg, exactly.
Could get killed, doing what they're doing. And I fully support the cadres.
Okay.
I will always support the cadres over anybody else.
Okay.
Jason Unruh, a hero of mine does it, and I do it too.
I'm sorry. What has this nigga done? I'm sorry. What has this nigga done for you to earn your respect? What is he? I mean, he makes videos. Okay. That's pretty good. All right. I mean, but what has he done outside of that? Realistically, what has he done? And what has he done there in Niagara Falls? That's not doxing him, by the way, because he says that he's in Niagara Falls. What has he done? I don't. I'm serious. What has he done? Both run the channel, so maybe Dark Synovia took down the video. Maybe. Yeah, let the anarchists die. Fuck it. If there are Nazguls out there killing anarchists, big up to them. Yeah. Something. Yeah. Let's hear some more of this. Go ahead.
And the cadres, I value them and their support over anybody.
Yes, Mother. Is there anything I can help you with? Oh, okay. Hold on then. Ooh. You see Simon?
Yeah.
It's right there.
Where? Oh, in that thing.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Oh, here it is.
What is it? Oh. Okay. All right.
I need to change.
There we go.
Pants are too long. These pants are too hot.
Maoist Third Worldist movement.
Sorry about that.
Is somebody we should be looking up
What
to
happened?
and talk to.
All right.
And he's someone that,
I'm sure it's bad.
you know, I respect. I really do respect him. I really do. Anybody that is that's been doing this for 60 years, well, I don't know 60, but for decades, in my opinion, they have the wisdom. They have everything. You know, we should be listening to them. And if we're making a mistake, well, they know what they're talking about because they've been doing this longer than any of us have been
Let's go ahead and
alive.
hear some more of this.
Jason, I would consider him the father of communist YouTube.
What's going on?
Maoist, you know, third worldist movement. He, I don't know him personally. I haven't had a chance to speak to him.
Okay.
But what he's been doing some real work that has helped, you know, many people in his life.
Okay.
And we got to treat these people with respect because, you know, not treating them with respect, I feel like is counter, you know, revolutionary.
Huh. Okay. I've never met a third worldist IRL. There are probably more Noswells than them, to be honest, which means that the Noswells have more potential. Yeah. Strong presence of cooperatism in Puerto Rico. Many people look at them. So many reactionaries. Okay, Dark Synovia, can you define reactionary for me? Let's go ahead and mute this for a moment. There we go. The lovely Minister Louis Farrakhan. What does reactionary mean today? I'll just put it that way. What does it mean? I'm curious. I'll wait. I'm trying to be polite. Ancoms, on the other hand, are seen as naive college kids. Yeah. Pretty much said he doesn't want to focus on the working class. He needs to take the hammer and sickle of his PFP if he's going for the lumpen. Okay. I'll just wait. Doodly-doo. How y'all doing? Y'all doing okay? I know it's been a good hour and a half, 90 minutes. Just kind of vibing, you know. But I figure I would bring this up and whatnot, you know. I'll wait. Doodly-doo. Lovely, most honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Yep, exactly. Eurocommunists and other revisionists are the largest groups. Yeah, ML's a Maoist after that. Yeah. Anarchism is native ideology because it doesn't even know how to structure or enforce law. Yeah. Such is the way, you know. I'm sorry, you know, I do want to say this up front, or at least right now. I apologize if you do get in trouble with Dark Synovia. I apologize, you know. You know, it's unfortunate that these things happen, you know, but yeah. Reactionaries like Trotskyites, but in reverse, their entire ideology is about killing the other side off. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Caught up yet? He's building class consciousness longer and more consistently than anyone else online. So let's see what we got here. What's this clipperoo here? Marked by favoring reaction, especially extreme conservatism or rightism in politics, opposing political or social change. Well, we don't oppose political or social change in terms of, I'm going to work my way backwards. So political or social change, I think we can agree that those things do need to change. Extreme conservatism. Have you ever been to a country like, say, the DPRK, which holds on to a conservative view of Korea being united as one nation? I mean, that's what I would say. Keyblade Warriors. I didn't claim to be doing anything. At least I can't really, I'm not going to speak for my audience, but for me, myself, I don't think I've ever said that. I'm going to wait and see what happens because I know that there are stronger groups out there. But yeah. Why the hell are you so triggered by the ideas of decolonization? Well, Dark Synovia, do you want to invite, you want to come into the chat? It's okay if you can. I'll go ahead and drop the invite in there. And you can come on and we can have a talk. I'm not going to be rude or nasty to you. I'll just let you in.
She wants in, Mac.
Oh, just keep it shut for now, please. There we go. I'll go ahead and drop that in there. And we can have a talk. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I'm not going to force you. They're the ones that are fighting and dying in the streets. What the fuck are you people doing other than being stupid Keyblade warriors? Okay. I mean, the thing is that I don't know if you've seen Dark Synovia, but the thing is that BLM and the anarchists are splitting apart in Portland. That's kind of what I mentioned here at the beginning of this. But yeah, we can go ahead and talk about it, though. Let's go ahead and we're going to stop responding to this. We'll let that go. And I'll leave that up for now. We're going to leave that alone. I'm not going to worry about this. I'll leave up the Farrakhan, but yeah, we're going to click off all that. And we're just going to, yeah. So I'll wait. I'll wait. If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's all right. If you don't want to, yeah, then why the hell are you cheating on anarchists then? The people that are actually doing all the work. Are they really doing all the work? Hold on. Let's go back to this article then. Let me go ahead and read this to you, sir, if I may. Okay, so BLM and Antifa separation. Now, of course, I know that you'll say that Antifa aren't anarchists, this and that, but let's go ahead and see here. This is, okay, that's Daily Wire. Let me see if I can. Okay, in America's whitest city, black activists struggle to separate themselves from anarchists. Now, these are the ones you always say that anarchists are the ones that are doing the work. So let's go ahead and see if they are doing work. Like I say, you take this one with a grain of salt. I don't know what OPB is offhand, but let's go ahead and see here. As we lock arms this night here. Okay, let me skip down to the bit here that I read about what anarchists were saying. A lot of beauty and genuineness. I was targeted directly. Now, this is one of the guys. Okay, now these are I think some of the anarchists that are so based, in your view. There's a lot of beauty and genuineness that happen. These are two black activists there in Portland. I was targeted directly. Somebody went back 7 years in my Twitter account through tens of thousands of tweets to find something that they found incendiary. And they coupled that together with other stuff from when I was 20 and 19 and made this kind of collage of why Darren can't lead a movement or be part of leadership of the RCJ. That's the Rose City Justice Party, or what would, yeah. So it was extremely targeted. Slowly, the organizers and activists who had been speaking to massive crowds at Revolution Hall, and Pioneer Square started pulling back. The organizing force that mobilized the community to send nearly 80,000 emails to city commissioners to demanding cuts to the police budget faded. Internal bullshit. Internal stuff. I think all the people who were being effective were canceled for one reason or another. This doesn't sound like the anarchists that are doing a lot of positive things. These sound like opportunists who claim to be anarchists who wear black bloc clothing. You can say fuck the police till you're blue in the face. You're not going to change the system. You have to go to the individual that makes the laws for them, and that's not happening right now. We've seen this happen over decades, over centuries. Black folks that get in power or have a voice are somehow squashed or quelled by a white political leadership or white organizing. And I'm sure Dark Synovia, you have your own comments in there and that you can mention. But yeah, most black people in our community don't feel like they have privilege to go straight to the police and yell in their face. If you're privileged, if you're white, you care less about whether or not a protest is going to result in reforms that might save even just one life. And you have the ability to be a purist in that way. The black and brown communities really do not. Okay. Let me see here. There was a quote here that I'm getting at. Let's see here. I think it's, maybe I went past it, but yeah. Liberation Front tweeted in July criticizing the Rose City Justice for pacifying the nightly Justice Center action and admonished its followers to stop blindly listening to people with megaphones. Multiple sources confirmed to OPB that their Twitter account, long shrouded in mystery, was started and run by a white teenager who grew up in suburban Portland. That person said they've since moved on from the group. Lingers in the shadows Pacific Northwest Youth Liberation Front lingers in the shadows. Yeah. Yeah. No People's Rooster. Yeah. So, I mean, we see here that, we heard that, these anarchists are so, good and everything else, but it sounds like, these anarchists and BLM are having beef. How can we explain that? Can anybody explain that to me? I'm very curious as to see that you said that the anarchists are actually doing the work, and I don't get that. Does anyone else get that? How are they doing this sort of work? Yeah, let me see a private chat. Okay. I got you. All right. Okay, we'll go ahead and talk to Dark Sinovia here. All right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. All right. So did you see that article that I was reading from talking about the separation between BLM and the Antifa groups that exist in Portland?
Yes.
So you said that anarchists are doing the work, and apparently that doesn't seem to be going very well. Can you explain that to me a little bit better?
Rephrase the question.
Okay, can you explain this breakdown, this beef that's going on between BLM and these anarchists, these white anarchists?
Okay. What about people like the obnoxious anarchists? Not all anarchists are white. And these people you're
okay.
referring to, are opportunists. They're not there to actually genuinely help the movement. They're just there to cause trouble.
Okay. I'm saying is that Portland is kind of the epicenter of a lot of this stuff going on, right? Would that be fair to say, or would that be taking things out of context?
Okay. That's all right. I wouldn't say you're not wrong on that regarding what's going on in Portland.
Okay.
But what
You
about
think
the
that
ones
kind of
what about the ones in Arizona? What about the ones in LA? You're telling me they're not doing anything? They're not fighting and dying on the streets? Are you telling me?
So I want to make sure here. Are you referring to what Jason Unruh talks about with the Bundists, this and that, or is that a separate issue? I'm trying to make sure.
Yes, I mean exactly. Oh, how is this not real? Are you like denying that this stuff is actually happening? I'm confused here.
Well, no, I'm just saying is that as you would, I'm sure, agree to a point, is that anarchists are not a monolith. So yeah, you once again though, is that you're specifying and saying, well, let's talk about the ones that are going on in Arizona or what's going on in LA. Let's not talk about what's going on in Portland, where a lot of the media and a lot of the focus is at. What have they?
Well,
okay,
let's focus on the ones in LA and in Arizona because those are closer to where I live.
Oh, okay. Okay. What have they done in Arizona? I'll ask that, and you don't have to Fed post about it. Just loosely speaking. I've seen a little bit here.
What they're doing in Arizona, like I said, they're fighting against the police. They're fighting against child traffickers. They're fighting against sex traffickers. Like most of the stuff isn't even getting reported in Arizona. Just because it isn't getting reported doesn't mean it isn't happening. Honestly, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't get reported, that goes on. Honestly, I'm not saying the anarchists are perfect, but I'm saying it's pretty stupid to shit on a group of people that are fighting and dying, against a government like America.
Well, the thing is that the government in America is not one thing. I mean, there's, the federal government. There's also the state governments, in Arizona and California. That's a lot of different separations, though. Can we agree on that?
I
just want to make sure.
To be honest with you, with that, I don't. I do not agree with that.
Okay, why not? Do you think that they don't have their own interests or anything else like that?
I'm not saying they don't have their own interests, but I don't agree with the fact that they're separate. They all have similar goals. They all want to preserve the capitalist system. Honestly, at the end of the day, that's what they want. They're not interested. Anything else that they may have disagreements with is secondary. It's like conservatives and liberals. Liberals and conservatives, is there really a difference between the two when the stuff they disagree with is superficial?
Okay. I can agree with that, the conservative and liberal stuff, but I would say is that let me see if I can just be gentle here. So what okay, so the Bundists in Arizona, they have fought against child trafficking, this and that. And I've seen a little bit of Jason Unruh's video. I didn't watch every minute of it because he talked about the National Socialist Movement working with the police, I believe, and working with Zionist groups. So I've heard. Is that correct? I just want to make sure here. I'm trying to get all the
Yes.
facts here. Okay. Okay. And in LA, we have the, obviously Los Angeles. I mean, that's a huge difference here. What are they specifically doing in LA? Are they helping to alleviate some of the issues with the homeless, for example? Or
I'm more familiar with what's going on in Arizona,
okay.
honestly, than LA.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. The reason I asked about this is because, we can bring up, what's going on with the camps. I imagine that there are some camps where a lot of illegals are kept. Are they doing anything with that?
Wait,
As far as you know,
are you
are they protesting outside of them? Are they trying to, provide legal aid to them? I'm trying to ask in good faith here. I'm trying
Well,
to.
I honestly do not know.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know everything that's going down, honestly, and anything I do know, I'm not in liberty to say.
Okay, that's fine. I don't expect you to Fed post or anything else like that. I'm just trying to understand what you say here because obviously it gives. The thing is, I'll put it this way: is that I'm getting my degree in marketing, so just take it with a grain of salt. But the thing is, when you see these separations that go on in Portland, will you say that the issues that go on in Portland and all the breakup and all the beef, to spare a lot of words, the beef hurts the movement down in Arizona? Would you say yes or no on that? Would you say that it hurts them or hurts the idea of building some sort of class consciousness? I'll put it that way. Go ahead.
Well, please specify what you're talking about because honestly, not all these anarchist groups are the same. Honestly,
but do you think that if they see anarchism in this way in Portland, do you think that the people in Arizona would see that and say, well, what the hell is this anarchist stuff? They can't get their shit together, you see? And they make a generalization. And unless people are more politically literate, then they're not going to understand. They're just going to say, oh, you're an anarchist like those ones in Portland? Oh, really? I don't really care for that.
mainstream media will, even if they do everything perfectly, the mainstream media will always frame, whether it's an anarchist or communist, as being these group of terrorists or people that do nothing but disrupt, what's going on. They're not. They're damned if they do, and they're damned if they don't. You're telling me that everything that they're going to do is automatically going to be praised by the media? Come on, the mainstream media.
No.
Any leftist group will always get shit on far more than anything the right does.
Okay. Let me ask this then. Just as an off topic. I'm not going to go off on a deep tangent here, but so let me ask you this. What do you think about Michael Reinhold shooting I can't think of his name now, but anyway, basically shooting a magapede and then running away? What do you think that that's good praxis, or do you think that's inappropriate? You don't have to go too hard.
I have no sympathy for the MAGA person, if I have to be honest.
Okay. At least you're honest about it. All right. And of course, Michael Reinhold then went on Vice News, he was recorded by a separate guy, and then he sold it to Vice News. And he said that he was in danger and all this business, but it was shown that later on that he was hiding in the bushes, this and that. That sounds like an assassination to me. What do you think? I just want to make sure here. And I'm not going to sell you too much on it, but what do you think about that?
I don't know what you're talking about, if I have to be honest. How is it? What was the guy? Why did the guy kill the Trump supporter? Did he just shoot him for no reason, like Kyle Rittenhouse did? Explain that.
Well, the thing is, once again, where do I go? I've just put myself into a bit of a tizzy here, but the thing is that it was shown that he was spotting this place out because they heard that these that they would be in this area. So he was spotted out, fired 2 shots, and then ran off. Does that sound like praxis to you? I just want to make sure here. We'll try to stick on that point.
Well, left adventurism is never good, honestly.
Do you think that? So I just want to make sure here. Do you think that that was adventurism? I just want to make sure here.
Well,
Of
do
shooting.
anything reckless is not good regardless. I don't believe in violence for violence sake.
Okay. All right.
Just because I have no sympathy for the Trump supporter doesn't mean I believe we should just commit violence for no reason. Because that serves no purpose.
Okay. I just want to make sure with that.
I believe in self-defense more than anything.
Okay. Okay. So let me make sure on this. Do you hold the same views as Jason Unruh, since you call
Yes, I
yourself
do.
a third worldist? So you believe that the Maoists in the Philippines are not doing a good job?
Well, I don't know much what's going on in the Philippines. I'm mostly focused on, in the States.
Oh, but you're a third worldist.
Yes, I said I was a baby third worldist in case
Excuse me. Well, okay. Excuse me. I heard that you were a third worldist, so okay. I just want to make sure, because Jason Unruh, and I'm not going to smear him too much, but I will say is that this is not very good practice, at least in my opinion. This was a few months ago, is that he was asking his followers to give money to a communist party in Angola, I believe, in Africa. And I said, that's not good. That's not very good, because people can track that, and then these names can get leaked. People get arrested, or they can, have a black mark on their name. That's not really appropriate. I just wanted to say that.
Why is that not appropriate? Honestly, I'm serious. Why is it not appropriate? Is it because the people are brown, or what is it? Why was it not appropriate?
Well, okay.
Would you have said the same thing if you did it to a mostly white populated country? I mean, seriously.
No. Okay. The problem that I have is not for, supporting melanated people or whichever term you want to use. It's that information of these people donating can be released. This is something that, if you learn more from, the white nationalists and alt-right, a lot of those folks, a lot of those names were leaked. A lot of those people were doxxed. That same thing could happen if you start giving money to some, random Angolan party. You'd think that they wouldn't just give up the names of the lists of people and give up IP addresses and everything else.
You're telling me there isn't ways that people can send stuff without getting tracked? Come on.
I mean, I'm just saying is that if it can happen to these sorts of folks, why would it happen to someone else?
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it wouldn't, but the alt-right are stupid. Let's be real here. Honestly, most people that are on the right that are smart, use secure, transactions. I'm not too vested into this, but I doubt they would have something open that would have that easily tracked. Come on, we're in a global war against the capitalist system. I doubt that they'd be foolish enough to do that.
Okay. All right. Well, I just want to make that as an off point, because that to me doesn't really seem like good praxis. And I know that was a while back. That was probably like a year ago now that I'm thinking about it, but it just popped in my head. Okay, so let me make sure on this. So what made you come to be a third worldist? I guess I'll ask that, because you were obviously a Marxist-Leninist, and now you've moved on becoming MLM?
I'm not MLM. I'm a third worldist.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. Now, I want to make sure. Okay, while I have you in here, let me ask about this. I'll move tactics here a little bit. So third worldism comes from the ideas of, I can't think of the gentleman's name, in Maoist China, correct? I just want to make sure.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
And third worldism, at least in China, supported Pol Pot and their regime in Cambodia over that of Vietnam. Am I right or wrong? I just want to make sure here.
I don't know much about Chinese history.
Oh, it's Lim Bu? Okay, thank you, Papi Chulo. Okay, go ahead. Okay, I just want to make sure on that, because obviously China and Vietnam, obviously their beef goes back a lot of centuries, and everything else like that. But China did give support to Vietnam. And then, as far as I know, third worldism, as far as an ideology, first came from that, of China's support for Cambodia and Pol Pot over the Vietnamese, because they saw the Vietnamese as kind of selling out. And also, like I said, that they had past beef, as far as I know. But I don't know. That's what I'm saying anyway. But
I'm not going to defend China because I don't know enough about China or its history.
Okay. All right. I just, like I said, I don't expect you to be an expert. And I'm not trying to be rude like that. I'm just trying to see about how you got to that point of being a third worldist.
I became a third worldist is simple. Malcolm X's, autobiography. Everything, that I've learned in that book, it's maybe came to the conclusion that, MLL is not good enough in North America.
Okay. Okay. I would call Malcolm X more of a Pan-Africanist. I guess let's talk about that more. Because to me, is that with Malcolm X is that he was a Muslim until the day he was killed by the Nation of Islam, in my opinion, and supported, African people, regardless, whether it was, the so-called new Africans in the United States or folks there. I did a video about this, just a brief one, but he also, is that he got support from, I think, even Saudi Arabia and other nations for some of his students after he left the Nation of Islam in 1964, sent students to the Al-Azhar University in Egypt. That's a Muslim school, fairly well renowned. I'm not sure what all is, Muslims may think about it, but is that Malcolm X was a dedicated Muslim until the day he died. And I don't really get this idea where he was a third worldist. No, he was a Pan-Africanist. He supported the liberation of black folks.
Okay, that is not why I'm a third worldist. Just because he was not even a communist or socialist, that doesn't matter. It's Malcolm X's, his analysis and about, America, and the first world in general was correct at the time that he was alive. And I felt like it doesn't make any sense being a communist in the first world and still being a ML. Okay. Maybe in Europe that may be different, but I don't live in Europe. I'm a pan-European in America. That's what I am. And I just do not think it makes any sense to be so dogmatic when it comes to communism, to not take other people's writings. I think Malcolm X was correct on many things, more than a lot of communists, in my opinion.
Okay.
Honestly, just because someone's a communist or not doesn't. I'm going to take their analysis regardless. Honestly, I don't care what it is.
Okay. Oh, I just wanted to make sure because, like I say, we have to be somewhat careful because obviously, you could say that, you were the only reason I asked that. I'll try to be honest, is that the reason I asked that is because, is that Malcolm X, supported Islam and he was, he converted to Sunni Islam legitimately. And, ultimately, because that's where he came from. That's what saved his life in a lot of ways. Because his mother was, I believe it was his mother and his father who was killed, admittedly by, kind of the white supremacists.
His mother wasn't killed. His mother, was confined to a mental institution.
That's true. Yeah. And he got her released when he was, in the 1960s, I believe, before his death. But yeah. I would also say, though, is that his mother was part of, I can't think of Marcus Garvey's group offhand, but yes, was part of Marcus Garvey's group, which I don't think, you probably don't care for Marcus Garvey. Am I getting that right? I just want to make sure here. You don't care for Marcus Garvey because...
No.
Okay. I want to make sure on that because you were inspired by the book, of Malcolm X's autobiography. And of course, I've written bits of it.
I don't think a third world is, shouldn't identify as one unless they have read it at least once, because it is important. If you're going to be a third worldist, you should read Malcolm X's autobiography. And not to mention, another reason I'm a third worldist is I think this anti-religious shit is bullshit. You cannot expect to convert people or to ask people to support your cause if you basically shit on their religion. It's stupid. I don't care. Honestly.
Okay, I can agree with that.
I was once part of that atheist shit, in the early 2000s. Well, 2010s is more accurate to say, and it's bullshit. It's stupid, and I think it's nothing but a bunch of spoiled people acting like they know better than everyone else. They don't.
That's fair.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Some of the most intelligent people that have ever lived were religious. Malcolm X is no exception. Martin Luther King is no exception. They were religious, and they're highly respected as a result, not because of their religion. I mean, even atheists respect Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. That's how much powerful they are. I mean, how many atheists are actually respected compared to those two people? I mean, come on.
You have a point on that. Yeah. Yeah, I have a point. It's kind of like, I know this it's somewhat of a meme, I would say this, but talking about liberation theology within the larger Catholic Church. And of course, like I say, that's kind of a meme, and it's something that a lot of Western, maybe first world leftists use a little bit too much. Like, just because that exists in South America to some degree, that doesn't mean the Catholic Church is, embraces that sort of idea. But that's just, let's just say that as an off point.
Well, the thing a lot of people seem to misunderstand when it comes to third worldism, it's not the first world versus the third world. It's believing that there's no revolutionary potential in the first world. Okay. And we're about resistance more than anything else. Because you're never going to get, majority of the working class in America, especially, to support a revolution. And the only way to have a socialist America, if you wanted to have a socialist America, you'd have to have a cultural revolution. You can't have a revolution without a cultural revolution, because America is too reactionary in order to even embrace socialism. I mean, for crying out loud, social democracy is too far left in America. Wouldn't you agree? In this culture?
Oh, yeah. I would. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Bernie Sanders trying to push this sort of Feiwa and everything else like that. But yeah, he's not even, he, and he immediately, of course, broke like a pretzel to, people like Joe Biden, of course. Yeah. Absolutely. And yeah, I would agree that, the United States is a very reactionary nation. So let me more properly define things. Let me make sure here what third worldism. I just want to make sure here. And I know that you're a baby third worldist. I'm not going to squeeze you too hard, but I just want to make sure here in terms of revolutionary potential. Would you say that, let me make sure here. Would you say that Iraq would be considered more of a third world nation? I just want to make sure.
It would be.
Okay. And, obviously there's a big split that you would have between, and I know that you were talking about, you just can't shit on people's religion and whatnot. I'm not going to agree with that. What I would say is that, you have the Sunni Shia split, which is something that is huge. And I'm going to, speak very, I'm going to try to be very careful. I'll just say the Arabic world. And I just say that loosely speaking, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Honestly, okay. I'm not as familiar with Islam as, but I am vaguely familiar with what's going on over there. Honestly, I'm not. I don't know how to answer that, to be honest, because I don't think we should support Wahhabism, which is what Saudi Arabia is pushing, in the region. That is one of the biggest enemy in the Middle East, other than Zionism, because Zionism pushes Wahhabism, which is a more extreme version of Islam. Mm-hmm. They're the biggest threat to peace in the Middle East, honestly. Yes, the Shiites and the Sunnis, I'm not as familiar with that. There's always going to be disagreements, but it's possible for them to live peacefully. The problem is America needs to get the fuck out of the region. That's what needs to happen. All these problems are being caused by Israel and America. And speaking of Israel, don't you find it a little hypocritical? You support Israel's, to right not to exist, but why not the United States? Is there really a difference between the plight of the Palestinians to the plight of the Native Americans?
I don't think. Well, you know what? I'll put it this way. I don't, like I said, you know what? I'll tell you what I support ultimately is that eventually the United States will break apart. I'll put it that way. So that's something that I think I do recognize. I'm not some huge America first or some Nick Fuentes. I'm not. Ultimately, I feel like, yeah, things that people will split. But I think once again, though, is that you talk about Native Americans, and like I say, I'm no expert either. We're just having a conversation. But I would say is that Native Americans are not a, I just said it earlier, but they're not a monolith. Is that, you go up north, I live in Texas, and I can go just up the border there to the Comanche Nation. A nice casino there. Make a lot of money. A lot of the folks, but they are slowly getting more land. As land goes up for sale for the state of Oklahoma, they buy it back. That's going to be a different struggle than what goes on with the Navajo or with this group. It's the same thing that goes on to me with what's going on with Palestine. There's a lot of beef. There's probably more beef that goes on with other Arabic nations than with Israel, because there's a lot of back and forth. They'll say, why didn't Assad, and I'm talking about Hafez Assad, not the other Assad, but wasn't able to retake the Golan Heights back in, the 1973? You know what? But there's a lot of beef that goes on between them, because it's like the same thing with Jordan. Jordan, as far as I know, has a lot of the Palestinian population, and a lot of them live in tent cities. These are supposed to be your brothers and everything else, and there's not very much being done in that case versus Israel. That's not me defending Israel, by the way. I just want to make sure is that there's a lot of beef and a lot of stuff that needs to be ironed out. That's all I'm saying, is that it's not as simple as, comparing the Palestinians versus the Native Americans. It's kind of like there's lots of divisions in that. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead.
I really don't see a distinction, because what the Israelis are settlers, just like the white Americans are. What they're doing is wiping out not only the Palestinians history and their culture, they're also doing it to the Jews as well. And the Native Americans, don't you think they should have a right to their land back? I mean, they're almost all of their ancestors were murdered, and not to mention, I feel like they are the people that could save us from ourselves. And I don't think I'm for justice above anything else. That's why I support decolonization. If I feel like only they have a right to decide who stays or who goes in this country. And I also think they're the only ones that have a right to talk about the Confederate flag. I don't think, and same thing with the African American community. The Navajos are the only people that have any right of talking about any of these issues. Us people.
Whoa. Okay. Whoa. I got to cut you off there. I'm sorry. So hold on. So the Navajos are the only ones to speak. So there was never. Okay. So the Anasazi Indians, the Comanche, the Creek, the other tribes. I mean, I can't even think of all the tribes.
Well, I think that they all have a right. I'm just saying the Navajos are the ones I'm the most familiar with. I just feel like white Northerners just don't have a right to really discuss this, because there's a huge difference between the American flag and the Confederate flag.
Okay.
The Confederate flag is a flag of rebellion. It's a flag that rebelled against this government. And that flag can be interpreted in multiple different ways. I mean, not every person who waves the Confederate flag is a white supremacist. The Confederate flag, was flown, when, the rednecks, the original rednecks were fighting, for labor rights, when they were fighting for things that we all take for granted today. Most people that wave the American flag are usually, the neo-Nazis. They're usually, people that, are in Klan rallies, whatever it was. I'm not talking about currently, but I'm talking about in the past. It's like fascists are far more likely to fly the American flag than the Confederate flag. That's the difference between the two.
Oh, okay. I see. All right. The only reason I brought that up about the Navajo is that, like I say, the Comanches have a lot more at stake. I mean, or at least the Comanches are a little bit more ingrained in the system, because they have a very nice casino. They have the Comanche Nation plates usually on their vehicles. And now, of course, in eastern Oklahoma, they are exempt from federal law. Let me make sure here. Let me make sure on that point. But I'm pretty sure that they are exempt from a lot of federal law, and so they cannot be prosecuted. I think, and once again, that was passed by a conservative Supreme Court justice. So, I mean, that would be seen as a win in some people's eyes, and it could potentially set up more for a potential future of that. But I don't think, like I say, with this idea of decolonization is that there's some tribes that are more connected to their past than others. So this idea of decolonization is just like, well, are you going to toss crackers out on their ear? Or are you going to make them submit to this new system, however that's going to look? That's really what you... Go ahead and answer that. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not saying that what I said in my that completely misrepresent what I said in my stream. I'm just saying that whites, who people who identify as white, I don't, need to learn more about their heritage. I'm not saying to shame them for because no one can help being who they are. I'm talking being born white or whatever. I just feel like they should be. But a decolonization, one thing people could do is to be more in touch with their ancestral roots, regardless of where they come from. I don't believe in this white identity bullshit. White supremacy, erases, our cultures. I mean, look at all European cultures out on the European continent. Can you really tell me they're all the same?
No.
Honestly.
Oh no, I don't think I've ever preached that. But go ahead.
Well, I'm against whiteness, not because that this person's skin is white. No, it has to do with the ideology behind whiteness. It erases other cultures and it forces other people to assimilate into their culture. My ancestors came to this country, they had no choice because of what happened in Ireland, in the 1800s. We had no choice but to flee Ireland, and my ancestors were treated like dirt. The Irish were treated horribly, and they weren't even considered white 100 years ago. Whiteness, was used as a way to stop solidarity between other, people. They didn't want the Irish to, have any solidarities with the blacks. Come on, let's be real. The ruling class uses white supremacy to divide people. To prevent them from actually rising up and uniting against the government. That's what white supremacy is for.
Okay. I'm going to have to push back a little bit here. The thing is that what happened is that, at least in my opinion, you had groups like you had Tammany Hall in New York, and you had people like Honest John Kelly. Now, as far as I know, with Honest John Kelly, I'm just having sorry. If you could close the door, please.
Well, you gotta let him
Okay,
in.
yeah, I will. Okay. But anyway, basically what I was saying is that ultimately this is when the Irish entered into the system, if you will, and entered into the United States system. And so then you had Irish cops who adopted, more of and we'll put it this way, but basically, they adopted a lot of the WASP rhetoric that already existed in the United States, and they end up I'm trying to think of the proper word now, but basically they entered into the system and followed it to the letter, so there's a lot of back and forth there when you say, oh, well, Italians weren't white this time or Irish weren't seen as white. Yeah, but eventually they entered the system and they assimilated.
I'm completely against assimilation, honestly. I believe people should be proud of their cultures and should retain everything about their culture, regardless where they are in the world. I don't believe in assimilation. It's genocide.
Okay. Well, the reason I say that is because sometimes people make pragmatic choices. There are people that, were Italian and they realized that, they couldn't go back to Italy because of what was going on and everything else. So they opened, and I'm trying to be very careful. I'm trying not to be prejudiced here, but they opened up pizza parlors, or, people like Fiorello LaGuardia became mayors of New York, and they felt that this was the better way so that they could get better deals in the nation. There are people that, that's what they do. They ultimately see it as a pragmatic statement. It's nice to say, well, we are going to be separate from your system. We're going to live in your country, but we are not going to integrate into your system. That's nice to say, but it's, but go ahead. That's just me.
Well, I don't understand why people cannot live in the country and still be part of a society and still you'll be proud of their culture. Assimilation, you gotta understand when people hear assimilation, a lot of when they assume like just taking everything that made them who they are. I mean, can you tell me most white people? I don't even think know who they are.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. Yeah, a lot of whites in the United States. Yeah, we have no idea.
It's like they have no idea who they are, and that's why I believe we should be more in touch with our roots. If we're Europeans, or if we're people of Asian descent, which I think I don't know how I can't speak for them, but they should be in touch with their roots too. It's just I just don't believe in completely assimilating to this culture completely because. Okay, here's the thing: the Navajos do not want to expel, people, everybody. They just, honestly, they just want their land back, and they want their land respected. Is there anything wrong with that?
Well, here's the thing, though: is that when they get their land back, will the peoples that live there, will they have to follow the native laws versus the other laws that they had before?
Well, I can't speak for the Navajos because I'm not Indian. But
okay, for your ideal, what do you think should happen? I'll put it that way.
I think they should respect their laws. If they were to live on the land, they should respect their laws.
So they should assimilate into native culture.
No, and I'm not saying they should assimilate into native culture. I'm saying they should respect their laws.
Okay. Much the same way as the Irish respected the laws of the United States.
I have no problem with going to another country and living there, respecting their laws. What I have a problem with is forcing the people to abandon their culture and abandoning their roots in order to exist in society.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I'm gonna try to be careful here. But okay, so you connect with the Irish homeland. So let me ask you this: are you still Catholic?
I'm not religious.
Okay,
but I'm willing to. I'm willing. Hey, I'm just learning about my roots.
Okay,
honestly.
All right. Okay. Let me ask you this question then. Do you think that if you went to Ireland today, that they would see you as Irish?
No.
Okay. Do you think that they would want... Let me just be blunt and ask you this. Do you think that they would want anything to do with you in terms of you offer them support and said, solidarity for the Irish people? Do you think that they would just be like, oi, mate, go on with all that? Or would they simply, try to bring you in? I'll put it that way.
I can't say because I haven't actually done any of that yet. I can't say one way or the other.
Yeah, this is why I don't believe in the idea of pan anything. I have nothing to do with Europe. This is my view. I have nothing to do with Europe. They don't want anything to do with me. It's like I think I'm part Welsh and part Norwegian or whatever the case may be. I have no connection though to Europe. I have no connection. They don't want me. They don't need anything to do with me. So that's why I would rather just be like, you know what? I'm a culturally American person because this is all I know. That's all I preach about.
What does it mean to be an American, though?
Well, for me, I would say is that, listening to hip hop, I would say is that, hip hop is obviously, you can connect it back to West Africa to a point. But I think that the modern day, knowing about the financial system as well, having, the generally accepted accounting principles or whatever the case may be, me being a marketer and trying to understand that, culturally also, respecting holidays like Thanksgiving. You could say, it's an awful holiday, this and that, but that's, or celebrating Christmas in the American way, or I don't know, just different cultural ideas, smiling more or work habits, anything specifically, but that's how I would see it. different, it's different working habits, in the United States, and hell, even different states are going to have different working habits versus what goes on in Europe. That's what I would say is culturally American. That's what I would say, but that's just me.
Well, when I think of American, I think of fascism, racism, and I really don't see anything positive about America other than war, racism, and fascism, because that's the only thing that we're even known for. Do you think your average person who is a third world person cares about what we're talking about? When they see America, they see an oppressor, and that's how I see America, honestly.
Okay. Do you think that? Okay, let me ask you this then. Do you think there's a separation between America versus Americans?
America and its Americans.
Yeah, versus the country itself and what has been put onto the people that live within the borders of what is the United States. Do you think that there's a difference?
No,
or do you? Oh.
I really don't think there's a difference. Honestly, okay. I think the people who are resisting the American government are not American. They're anti-American. I feel you're not fighting to preserve America. If you're not fighting to preserve America, I don't think you're American at all. In any sense of the word.
Yeah. Yep. I got them. They're in the fridge.
Should be in the freezer.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh, okay.
I believe it's impossible to be a pro-American if you're fighting against the government.
Okay. Okay. So for people that want to start like an Ostland, which is more of the Chicano movement, they are not American.
If they don't want to preserve America as a country, no.
Okay. You don't think that they hold some views that may be culturally American?
Well, they may have some of the cultural things about America, but if you want to preserve America, you're not anti-American.
Okay. Let me see here. I'm just trying to think of some questions offhand, but so people that are fighting. Okay, I just want to make sure here on your take. So anyone that is fighting against America is going to be anti-American. So you would see the Bundists in Arizona are anti-American.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure here. So I just want to make sure here. So any oppressed people would be your allies, I guess you would say. So the black folks
not every oppressed people, because some oppressed people will inevitably, some of them will side with the enemy for their own interests. So that's not true. Not every oppressed person is my comrade.
Okay. I just want to make sure here. So certain aspects, certain areas of the lumpen proletariat, for example, are not your allies. And let me be more specific when I say lumpen proletariat. I mean people that are selling pharmaceuticals, we'll put it that way, or folks that are that support strong arming businesses, this and that. Those are not your allies.
Well, you got to be more specific, because I'm not against small business owners. Honestly.
Well, okay, okay. Let me be more specific then. So, the North, let's say the Mexican mafia. You wouldn't see them as your allies, right?
No, I wouldn't, because they're the enemy. Because look what they're doing to Mexico. Look what they've been fucking up that country for decades. So no, they would most likely side with the capitalists if push come to shove.
So I'm just trying to. Okay, so you think that the United States be broken up into different countries? I just want to make sure on this point.
Only if the Native Americans have a say on it. Only I feel like they should have the biggest say, because they're the victims of American colonialism. I feel like they have the right to have any say on who stays on the land and who doesn't, and how things are run.
So what authority do the natives have? Should they set up a military, or should they, have more connections? I mean, because the thing is, maybe I'm being a little bit too more reactionary here when I say this, but I kind of hold the view of people like maybe Carl Schmitt, where you have to have some power to actually have that authority to decide what to do. You see what I'm saying?
Not.
You can't just say, "Oh, we should just, support the Native Americans." Okay, I mean, that's nice to say, but it's like, unless they have some sort of power, then otherwise it's kind of meaningless. It's just lip service. That's my view anyway.
Well, I'm not saying that they have official power, but I'm on the side of justice, and I want the best outcome possible.
All right.
And I don't think the best outcome would be having a bunch of white men deciding who runs what or how this country is run. Because I believe, honestly, for things to truly change, it cannot be white people leading the revolution. It has to be the natives and the African Americans. They're the only ones I feel like that can make any meaningful change.
And
Because
Chicanos.
they don't have the understanding like they do on how bad American capitalism truly is. Because even the poorest white American still is better off than your average Black and Native American, because they're white.
Okay.
I could say this because when I walk by a cop, I don't have to worry about getting shot. Like if I were Black, I would have to worry about that. Like whites have have it far easier than Blacks. I'm not saying we have to say all whites are evil. No, that's not the case. And
okay, what are you saying?
I think the natives should speak for themselves. I think they nobody knows their interests better than they do. Same thing with the Black community. They know their interests better than whites do.
Okay. So let me go back to this. I mean, I'm kind of going all over the place, but in terms of questions. So you said that you read the autobiography of Malcolm X. What do you think about the Nation of Islam and their beliefs on the idea that Yaqub created white people 6,000 years ago on the island of Patmos?
I think the idea is ridiculous, but then again, I believe the people that have a right to talk about it more in depth are black men and women. They have more of a right to talk about that than I do. I think it's ridiculous, but they are the only ones that could really talk about it.
Oh, okay. The only reason I ask is that, that's going to, cause a bit more reactionary forces, this and that, and kind of puts an idea. But also I do want to mention this, is that some natives are more white than, a lot of white folks are. And so they're called $5 Indians, this and that. So they're not going to, are they actually going to take care of the land, this and that? Or are they going to be simply just another white face?
I don't know. That's up for the Indians to decide, honestly.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure on that, because obviously the issue of $5 Indians and who's a real Indian, because obviously there are Black folks who believe they're the real Native Americans, and that these fake $5 Indians, they were never in this country.
It's up for them to decide.
So I just want to make sure here. Is that amongst Black folks and natives?
I believe that's a problem for them to figure it out. Honestly, it's as someone who these people think are white. It's none of my business to get in between these groups.
Okay. So you support them, but they ultimately have to do their own work. Is that what you're saying?
I don't believe we should be doing stuff that needs to be done for them, because they know better than I do what needs to be done.
It sounds like basically is that you're just giving lip service to these ideas and you don't really care about them. You're just saying, well, it's ultimately their business. Let them do what they want.
No, what I'm saying is that it's up to them to do it, because hey, I am not Black nor am I Native American.
Okay.
They know their problems better than I do.
Okay.
this sounds like a bad faith argument here, because that's not true. I do care about these problems, but I'm not going to speak for them because I'm not Native American or Black.
They have their problems, though.
Yes, and they know their problems better than I do.
Okay. So you called yourself, I do have a question, though. You called yourself a pan-Europeanist. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Kind of like what the EU talks about, but that's fake pan-Europeanism. Is that right? That the EU preaches?
I don't like the EU. Fuck the EU.
Okay. I just want to make sure on that. All right. So what is real pan-Europeanism? I guess I'll ask that question.
Well, like I said, I'm pretty new to this stuff. A pan-European is I'm speaking it from the American perspective, is an American that embraces their European roots and rejects their American roots.
Oh. That sounds kind of Nazi-ish to me, but go ahead.
That's not Nazi, but whatever. That's
okay.
That's essentially what
other
it
people
is.
Other people would say that. I'm not saying that. It's that other people would say it that way.
Well, the Radlibs and BreadTube are stupid, and and their opinions mean nothing to me.
So okay, what does that? I know that you're a baby one, and I'm not gonna squeeze you too hard. Once again, I'm gonna try not to. But what does that translate into real life? Does that mean that people that are French should be able to speak en français and have it kind of like Quebecois there in Canada, or what is it? Go ahead. I'll just.
It's cultural, and I'm saying my own what I think pan-European is, and I believe it's being in touch with your European roots. If you're Irish, I believe you should learn more about your Irish heritage. If your ancestors came from France, learn about your French heritage, and etc. I don't believe. That's what I believe. I believe in embracing your European roots over your American ones. That's what pan-Europeanism is to me. That's how I look at it as an American that of European descent.
Okay. Where does the idea that all of Europe can be united? Because obviously, Europa has had many, many wars between one another, whether it's Napoleon versus, pretty much every country, the War of the Roses, the 300 Years War, and all this. So this idea that Europe is one nation is kind of
I don't believe it's one nation. I don't believe it should be one nation.
Okay, so why do you say pan-Europeanism? It just sounds like that you could just call it getting in touch with your roots. This idea that pan-Europeanism, that all European cultures, that Western culture is all one thing, and we know that's not true.
But that's not what it says, though. Honestly, it's just being more in touch with where you came from, where your ancestors came from. That's what pan-Europeanism is. It isn't thinking that all European nations are one nation. That's nonsense. Because half of Russia is not even part of Europe. Only half of Russia is Europe. And Russia is the only European country that's both Asian and Russian.
Don't let the Dukinist hear this. Oh man, you're kind of messing with the Eurasianism here. Okay, all right.
Well, I'm just saying it's the only country that is on two continents that I can think of. It's probably another, but I'm just saying in Europe it's the only one. It's unique in this regard. Like even Russia has a bunch of ethnicities that other European countries doesn't have. It's one of the biggest countries on the planet.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I'm trying to think of something else to ask you, but okay, let me ask you this. Do you think that pan-Europeanism goes against, because obviously embracing your European heritage doesn't sound great. Can we at least agree on that? That doesn't, society in general kind of looks down on that.
It depends on where you came from Europe. If you're from Ireland, I don't see any problem with that. If you're from English, that's another story. But again, I don't know anything about these other European nations. I'm speaking from someone that's of Irish descent. I can't speak for those who are German, Russian or French. I can't speak for them. Only they could speak for themselves. I'm being my own representative. I'm only being myself. I can't talk for other people.
Okay. Okay. The only reason I'm saying this is because it seems like It just seems like you're kind of butting heads with this idea that, okay, you're a third worldist and you support some sort of vague pan-Europeanism, but you also let natives do what they want. It's just kind of like, this is going to come to some major problems. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just thinking a little bit too off. But
nothing worth doing is without problems. Honestly, it's of course it's not going to be easy. Who says it would be? I never thought it would for a second. It would be easy.
Well, I know, but it just seems like you can avoid this by, it's like, just kind of accept that you are from America and that you don't really have any connection with Europe. Why would you?
I reject America because America is not my country. I was born here. I didn't choose to be here any more than the Africans, did. I reject American, my American roots because I'm not American. I don't believe in this country's ideas, and I don't accept it. No.
Okay, I just want to make sure on that point because the
only thing that's true, what you said is I was born in America and I was raised in America, but that does not mean I'm American.
Oh, okay. The thing is that the only reason I keep bringing this up is because I know, and I'll repeat this again, but I know that Europeans want nothing to do with me. They don't care about what goes on with white folks in America. They don't care. Why try to reach out and say, I'm going to get in touch with my Irish roots. I'm going to get in touch with my German roots. They don't care about you. Why try to go on to all this length and try to reconnect with your roots with people that don't give a shit about your opinion? Why? It doesn't make any sense. Does it? And that's not me being a self-hating European. It's just that I have no connection to Europe at all.
Well, I have no connection to America. So,
but yet, hold on. But you live in America, right?
Yeah, but I have no connection to its culture. The only thing that I have connection to with America is I physically live here.
Okay.
I don't live here by choice.
Okay. So let me make sure here with this sort of idea, because this kind of flies in the face. I've heard you mention the word settlers. So you believe that the white proletariat never existed, that they were simply a labor aristocracy, as Jay Sakai said, right? Excuse me.
I don't think it ever has, to be honest. I mean, compare the white working class to other, people around the world, especially the third world. No, they're the benefactors of the third world's exploitation. Honestly, America is a unique country when it comes to the working class. America started off as a capitalist country when it was first founded, unlike all the European countries our ancestors came from, which had thousands of years of history. America doesn't even have that. Honestly, we're the only country where we were always capitalist, and it's the reason why we're the most reactionary.
Screw Eugene Debs. Screw him. Screw Eugene Debs. He never did anything. Right? I'm sorry to blurt that out, but I'm sorry. Screw Eugene Debs. He didn't do anything. He was always capitalist. Right?
I thought you were talking to one of your people in the comments.
No. I'm just, you keep saying that we were always a capitalist country. I guess Eugene Debs never existed in your eyes. Is that right?
Eugene Debs? What are you talking about?
So he never preached for socialism? Because you said that we were always capitalists.
No, he never said. I'm saying our country has always been capitalist. I'm not saying that Eugene Debs never existed. Eugene Debs did great things for America for what little time he had in this world. So hold on. So stating the fact that America was always capitalist is basically ignoring that Eugene Debs existed. I never said I didn't think Eugene Debs existed or there was people that resisted capitalism. I never said that.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure here because it just sounded like, well, America was always a capitalist country, and it sounded like nobody ever wanted to resist it. Is it?
That's not what I said. You're misrepresenting what I said.
Well, excuse me then. Okay. I just want to make sure. Let me go back on this. So are you learning to speak Irish Gaelic?
I haven't even got to that point yet.
Oh,
I
okay,
just started.
Okay. Let me think here. What else would be uniquely an Irish characteristic? I mean, I'm try not to be prejudiced when I say this, but it's like, so you drink more Irish whiskey, or what makes you uniquely Irish? Because the thing is that Ireland itself today allows, Indians and allows abortion. And I'm not going to be too reactionary when I say that, but it's like they allow a lot of things that America has. They're probably more American in a lot of ways nowadays than they are Irish. I mean,
okay. The entire world is influenced by America in one way or another. What's your point?
well, my point is that why connecting with the roots of the Irish? I mean, it just seems kind of like it seems kind of like a waste of time. That's all I really have to say. I mean, that's my opinion. You can go ahead and just say stuff my opinion. And that's fine. You can do that, but it just you're wishing for an Ireland that no longer exists in that way, because obviously Ireland is a whole different nation. You're trying to hold on to this idea that's hugely different than what it used to be. It's the same thing for England.
That's not why I'm getting in touch with my roots. I want to know where I came from. What is wrong with that?
Well, there's nothing wrong with getting in touch with your roots, but the thing is that you say, I'm not American, this and that. They're going to see you as an American. If you ever went to Ireland, they'd be like, hey, that lad right there, he's an American. Right?
Well, of course
It's
they're
like
going to think I'm American, because of course they're going to think that way. But that doesn't mean I have to identify as American. I'm not American. What is wrong with me, choosing not to identify with this country? I hate this country, and I refuse to have anybody tell me that I'm American when I'm clearly not. You can't be an American unless you believe in its ideas, which I don't.
Once again, I think I've tried to say is that I'm a product of the American system. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm American, but it means is that, like I say, it's with hip hop, it's with understanding the financial system, whether it's, learning how to deal with different folks, or whichever, the culture that is produced in TV. I'm always going to be a product of that. It doesn't matter whether I go to China or whether I go to, Ireland or wherever the case may be. I'm always going to be seen as an American. You can say all day, I'm not an American. I'm not part of that. But people are always going to see you that way. And you're always going to be, you're a part of that system.
I'm aware that they'll see me as American. That doesn't mean I have to, embrace it. Fuck that. America doesn't get to decide who I am, honestly.
It already has. It already has. So, I mean, you can say that all day and say, I'm not American. I'm going to study my Irish roots, and I'm going to study about, I don't know, Padraig Pierce or something like that. You can go ahead and do that. But the thing is, my friend, you're always going to have those ideas that are going to be seen as American, as an American, in the sense that, for example, like, let me think of something more specifically American, like, for example, having, an 8-hour workday. If you went to China, they'd be like, 小废话, 走吧, get to work. It's just in the sense of you're always going, is that there are certain things that you may be like, well, why don't we have this sort of work week, or why don't we see things this way? Or maybe I'm just
the workday. It's not wholly American though. It was communists and socialists that fought for that. And people America like was anti-American and anti-communist. They had to give those, out of necessity. Honestly, they didn't do it out of the goodness of their own heart.
Okay. Let me ask you this then. Now I know you're just getting into this, but I would ask you this question: What makes someone uniquely Irish versus being American?
You're asking this knowing that I'm new. I'm just starting to learn about my roots. This is very dishonest. You're asking me a question I cannot answer.
Well, okay.
You're doing this on purpose. I know, okay. Honestly.
Okay, well, let's do it this way then. What do you think makes someone, I'll put it this way. Let's look at, I'm trying to be careful here. Let me point to someone like I'm trying to think of his name now. James Baldwin, the writer. He didn't go to an African nation. This is after a lot of these African nations were liberated from colonialism. He spent the rest of his life in France. What do you think about that? I'm curious about that.
Sorry, say that one more time.
So James Baldwin, the African American writer, or the melanated writer, if we want to put it that way, went to France and lived out the rest of his life, even after many African nations were liberated from colonialism by communist movement or socialist movements. We'll put it that way. What do you think about that? I'm just curious that he was still culturally American, and he went back and forth between America and France, and he had many friends who were, very high up in, American pop culture. I can't think, but many jazz players, this and that. He still, he was a product of the American system. He still wrote in English. He didn't write en français. It doesn't make any sense. You're still going to be seen as that.
I don't see how that's relevant. I don't see why you can't choose to be who you want to be.
Well, the thing is that societies will kind of preach to you about that. It's like you can say all day that I'm not an American, this and that. It's just like, well, okay, you can say that, but it's like, other people around the world will be like, mate, you're just an American. Face the facts. You can try to reconnect all you want to. Go ahead. But I don't really get this idea where it's just like you just hate America so much that you have to try to distance yourself from it. It's like, okay, I mean, that's just a bit extreme. I mean, yeah, okay, fine. A lot of folks do, but it's like you don't hear Jason Unruh say, I'm not Canadian. I'm part of this. I'm going to rediscover my roots and whatnot. It's just kind of just very silly. I'll put it that way. But that's
I can't speak for Jason. I only can speak for myself. And honestly, what the hell do you suggest I do then? So I say I'm not American. Okay. Now what? So I shouldn't be anything then? I shouldn't learn about anything, because that's essentially what you're telling me. There's not. I mean, I want to know who I am. And Malcolm X said, in multiple quotes, that if you don't know who you are, you're nothing.
What that reverts back to.
I would rather, learn who I am than reject America and have nothing. Okay. Honestly, that's worse than death to me.
The reason, okay, so let's put this into context, shall we? Because Malcolm X kind of created the idea of the lost tribe of Shabazz, right? I mean, that's not used anymore, but obviously now it's New Africa, this and that. But it was kind of based on the idea that, Africans in the United States had a connection to Africa, and they had a connection to, Kemet. They had a connection to, these huge empires, kind of like what Nas said, that song, where it's like, have huge empires in Africa called Kush and everything else like that. It wasn't until white folks were created that then these problems came about. So when you bring up Malcolm X, and this is the reason that you said that as much as Malcolm X tried to distance himself from the Nation of Islam, he did believe to a point that Yaqub was the guy that created white folks. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, and how is that relevant?
Well, it's relevant in the sense that you seem to have this idea that, well, Malcolm X was some sort of third worldist. No,
I never said he was a third worldist. You're misrepresenting my argument. What? Okay. Is this? I feel like this is starting to turn into a bad faith debate here, because I never said once in any of my videos or any time I praised Malcolm X that he was a third worldist.
But you were inspired by his book, which was co-written by Alex Haley as well.
It wasn't just his book that inspired me. It's also his speeches that inspired me as well. So
it is Jews who tell us, it is Jews who, sell us that bad food at those places. It is Jews who sell you those, awful places, That was a good speech by him. Remember that one? Where he said,
I'm not taking the bait.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure on that. So you're talking about white liberals and all those speeches that he gave? Like that, talking about white liberals and all that sort of issue.
I was referring the Jew one. I'm not taking the bait.
Oh, okay. I was just saying, what about the white liberal speech or any of those speeches? Is that what
I have
you're
no
referring
problem. I haven't, no problem with his speech against white liberals. Everything he said against them was correct. Everything he said about Europeans, was correct. So what is your point? So you're telling me that Malcolm X, just because he wasn't a communist or third worldist, that he wasn't correct on American history or the history of the British Empire?
Of course I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, is that why do you feel the need to identify with someone like that? He is not in your struggle. He is not, with you, right?
I understand that.
Pick a lane. That's what I'm saying again. Pick a lane. Go ahead.
I don't see anything wrong with being inspired by someone like Malcolm X. What is wrong with that? What is it? Oh, is it because he's black and I can't, actually be inspired by people that aren't white? Is that what it is? I mean, Malcolm X is not the only person I've been inspired by. I've been inspired by Thomas Paine as well. So what the hell?
Wow. Isn't Thomas Paine? He's the one that a lot of folks, along with what is his face, Alexander Hamilton, who are kind of seen as, the only good American founding fathers. Is that pretty much right?
I don't
They're
like
the only ones that are vaguely socialist.
The only founding father I like is Thomas Paine. The rest of them can go to hell.
Oh, okay. Why? So Benjamin Franklin helping to create the Postal Service was a bad thing.
They were all slave owners. They created a system that benefited nobody but rich white males. That's the whole reason, this country was created. It wasn't created to free ourselves from Britain. It wasn't created, to liberate the colonists. It was a counter-revolutionary movement because at the time that, the Declaration of Independence, was signed, there was a abolition movement against slavery, rapidly, around Europe. And they were afraid of they're losing their slaves, which was pretty pointless, if you ask me, considering they've only delayed the inevitable.
All right. There's some truth in that. Would you say then that the British Empire was better and that the colonists should have just stayed?
No.
Oh. Well, what should have happened?
Not everything in the American Revolution was bad. But to say that it was a revolution that helped, lift the, many people is just nonsense. I mean, the only people that benefited from the American Revolution was the rich ruling class. The poor didn't get shit out of the revolution. And the natives suffered even worse from the revolution.
You think that the French were better because obviously the French and the British both supplied various native groups with arms as well. We do realize that, right? This is the French and Indian Wars and all that business. What do you think about that? Do you think that that was a form of, anti-imperialism to a point, or was it just simply means to an end?
It was a means to an end.
Okay. I just want to make sure here because I've heard this take on that, but the thing is, though, is that we have to live in the reality of today. Is that America is a nation, regardless of what you may think. Is that it's still a nation? You may say it's not, or it's that it's artificial, or whatever the case may be. But the world is America in a lot of ways.
Am I talking to a bootlicker here, or am I talking to somebody that's serious? Because are you saying that we shouldn't actually fight against this fascist empire?
Well, no, I think it's going to fall on its own. I'm more of an accelerationist in that view, where I feel like the United States is going to fall, and there are going to be other breaks in it. So you may get an Aslan, you may get native tribes who ask for land, you may get a new Africa and all this sort of thing. But it's like it's not going to go completely your way. That's all I had to say. It's not going to go completely anybody's way. And it's like, it's nice for you to say, oh, well, Europeans should be in touch with their roots and learn their language and something, something, something. And, but the natives should be able to have, their rights and everything else like that. But just, it's not going to be that easy. I don't think that
I never said it would be that easy. If I had to be honest, what I'm getting from the vibe here is you people are just reacting.
You people. That's kind of racist.
I'm referring to you and your audience are just
okay.
Reacting in a way because, oh my God, I say the natives should have their land back. Oh my God, we should give non-white people their land. You know what? I feel like,
but they have to have a force to do that.
Wait, hold on. I think this conversation has served its purpose. I feel like we're not going anywhere, honestly, with this. And I thank you for letting me on, but I feel like this is the end of this conversation.
Okay. All right. We'll keep it there then. Bye-bye. Well, that was fun. What sort of material power should the natives have back? It's like I asked him about, well, what should they do? And he... well, how do you think I did, folks? How do you think I did? I think I tried to be very polite. I thought I tried to give him enough room to say what he wanted. I felt like it was a lot of LARP, though. It's like, I'm going to call myself a pan-Europeanist that a lot of Wignats do. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know. I can't really get beyond that stuff, it's so sad. It's just like, I hate America. Even though I'm a product of the American system. I don't know. It's like, I can agree that being an American is not well liked. But it's like, I realize that, as I tried to bring up with him before, is that Europeans are never going to see me as one of them. They will never see me that way. So why should I bang my head in the wall and make it see that way? Because I think he's going to end up realizing that. It's like studying about the Irish, this and that. And it's like he's going to find some things that I don't think he's going to agree with. That's me. But I don't know. Should go back to their origins. I guess so. Yeah, I guess he believes that all people should go back to their origins. Yeah, that was just... Yeah. I don't know. That's all I can really say, though. I was hoping you would call him out for hating pan-whiteness, yeah. But he supports pan-Native Americanism, yeah. Yeah, I was trying to do that a little bit. I wasn't sure exactly how to say it, but yeah. Definitely a race realist. Yeah, very much so. I think that I love being America's all my free meat bucks and nice roads, exactly. Well, I appreciate that, Anand Kazan. I do. And apologies, Anand Kazan, if some of this stuff came up because you went on that Ewoks Unhinged thing and talked to him. I apologize for that, because I know that I was like, okay, am I a bit reactionary? Yeah, I am. But I don't know. I'm a bit older. I have these, I have my views set in a lot of ways. I don't know. I think I've said my piece, though. All right. I do have to make dinner pretty soon, so I will be doing that and everything. So I think we'll end it here. We went for a good 3 hours. Dang, we went for a while, didn't we? All right. Yeah. Basically dug his own grave. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I say, I can't really... I mean, this is basically... you know what? I'll say this. The last point is, it sounded like basically it's a roundabout way to come to being a Wignat, of I'm European, save Europa, But it's like, I don't really get it, That's to be honest. That's why it's been proven that anything with pan in front of a word is going to be cringe. Yep. See you later, Post Nosball. But it's just so cringe to be, oh, I'm a pan-Europeanist. I'm a pan-Arabist. It's like, okay, that's nice to say, but it's like, there's a lot of beef that goes on, That's my view anyway. There's a lot of beef between various peoples, and it's not going to just go away right away. But I think with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're done. Let's go ahead and play a nice little song here. We're going to play a nice little bit here. I'm going to do this one more time because it's not copyrighted. But here we go. I hope y'all have a good night or a good day, wherever you are, and goodbye.
Our investigation shows that Mr. Pasha controls the numbers operation in the city. He has established stations for his runners, and we have found out that he runs his operation very successfully. He controls pickup men, pimps, houses of prostitution, politicians.
What? I said, cool. Man, I just made me a little score. A score? I hit. You what? And when you hit, you hit. I dig it. Hey, man, I'm fine. Give me some. Got money to get me some wine. I'm nigga rich. Ain't that a switch? Yeah, man. The rich nigga. Didn't remember the name. Say nigga rich. Ain't that a bitch? Yeah, it's a bitch. The rich nigga, Didn't remember the name. No one try to get somewhere. What? Put it in the box if you really care. Say nigga rich. Put my dream in, man. You know I'm good for. He good trying to be funny, man. Ain't got no cash. You ain't got no gold. You know. Nigga, send in, Jimmy Rush to mess with me.